it. So welcome to the Post-Purchase Pro monthly masterclass. If you've been with us before, you know what to expect. We're just going to jump right into it. First and foremost, let us know if you can see my screen. If the audio is coming through loud and clear, just shoot me a message in the chat box and let us know, and we'll jump right into this. Cheryl says, yep, all good. Thank you for the confirmation, Cheryl. So every month, we are bringing you the best entrepreneurs and experts from around the industry to share strategies for growth on and off of Amazon, which we're going to talk about today. The format, as usual, is we're going to have 2 to 5 guest speakers. Each speaker is going to present for around 20 to maybe 45 minutes. And usually the topics are going to center around creating more profits through a wide variety of approaches with Amazon or e-commerce, right? Sometimes, though, an opportunity that is outside of our industry is so good, we're going to bring it to you. And we strategically place unique speakers together because we want to get you outside of your box. Because if you're in the same lane, the same rut, looking at the same computer screen every day, it's really easy to fall into the same patterns and you never get any new inspiration. So that's why we do this. A few important details here. The reason we host these masterclasses is literally to help you make more money and be more successful. We never, ever accept payment in any form. And that includes affiliate commissions from any of our guest speakers. Every one of them will confirm it. Kafir's, you're not you're not paying us anything to be here today.
No.
This means that if we bring you a speaker on the monthly masterclass, you can rest assured that we believe that is valuable to you in some way. So that's the only reason why we do this. We do send out strategies, maybe a link to a video that Sean and I recorded, or, a quick hack, maybe once a week or so, in this private WhatsApp group that we have. If you want, you can join it. I think there's 415 people in there. If it gets to 500, then it caps out. You can't have more than 500 people in a WhatsApp group, I don't think. So if you want to get in there, it's joinprivategroup.com, or if you just scan that QR code, you can join it. And I'll give you a couple moments there. We have Sebastian in Germany. All's okay. Thank you, Sebastian. And great to hear from you. We have Freddie from Florida. All good. Okay. So now, guys, like I said, I promise you we jump right in. We've only been talking for 3 minutes and we're literally going to jump right into it. So here's the agenda for today. We're going to be talking to Kafir Abood. We're going to have John Cavendish on, Brendan Elias, and Seth Green, one of which I already alluded to in some of the emails, is the only speaker to ever get a 10 out of 10 in terms of when we surveyed the audience, that they brought that much value, that they received a perfect score. I'm not going to tell you who it is until the very end. And I'm not going to talk about who is talking about which topic either, because that keeps it more fun and entertaining. So, all right, guys. So somebody's asking for the link to join the WhatsApp group. So it's joinprivategroup.com. You might need to add a www, but I just tried to paste it in there for you. So, all right, Kafir. So let's go ahead and jump right in today. So what you have going on is absolutely amazing. What you do every day falls directly in line with my beliefs about how do you gain an advantage on Amazon, and the tools and the things that you've created internally for yourself have blown me away. So I can't wait to see what you plan to share today, Kafir.
Well, first of all, thank you very much for having me, Seth. I really appreciate it. I will start with a short background of where I came from and what we do. So I started my Amazon, my e-commerce journey like over 10 years ago. And I started as an Amazon seller. And I'm still an Amazon seller. I'm still selling on Amazon. And along the years, we've been driving a lot of external traffic to Amazon. Beside of the PPC that we are doing, we're still doing, which is very important, we used to, and we are still generating a lot of external traffic to Amazon from social media, from Google Ads, influencer marketing. We've done a lot of influencer marketing, email marketing. And our main problem was that we couldn't track and monitor the results. And it was really, really important for us because, once you don't have any data, you don't have the ability to scale and leverage all the efforts that you're doing. So like 2 years ago, something like that, Amazon came out with Amazon attribution. And at the beginning, we were so happy. We said, yeah, finally we can track and monitor all the traffic and all that. And we started to use it. And we saw that basically it doesn't work. And like a year ago, something like that, a colleague of mine came and told me that he started to use it. And he saw that the little data that you're getting from attribution is actually accurate, which is something, it's something nice to have. And it's better than nothing. So I started to use it. And I saw that it's fine. I mean, it's working good. The information that you're getting, the data that you're getting over there is accurate, which is good. But, sorry, it wasn't enough. I mean, in order for us to be able to leverage and scale our campaigns, we had to have much more data. So me and my partners, and they are also Amazon sellers, we decided that we are going to build a tool for ourselves that will help us to do all the things that we need to do. Basically, what we wanted to have is like enough data and the ability to create campaigns from one platform and be able to leverage and scale our campaigns.
So Kafir, when you say that that attribution doesn't work, what do you mean by that? Because that's kind of an aggressive statement, right? So like the data that they give you is accurate, but you're saying, well, it doesn't work from a marketing perspective. Like what do you mean by that?
Well, you're not getting enough data. I mean, the
Yeah.
data is very basic. Basically, what you're getting is not enough for you to be able to make the proper decision how to scale your campaigns. And you are not getting CPC. You don't know your echoes. You don't know your tacos. Things that are very crucial. You don't know the keywords ranking for the specific campaigns. Those things that are you must have it in order to be able to do something with your campaign.
Yeah. So you're definitely hitting a nerve here. So what you're saying is you were running external traffic campaigns, you're paying for ads on these different platforms, you're using email marketing, you're doing these things where you're driving your own traffic, but you don't know if it's working or not, right? That's your problem.
Exactly. That was my problem. Unless you had like an amazing campaign with something, nothing that you could control, then you knew that, okay, that's a specific thing that worked. But unless it wasn't like that, you were shooting in the dark.
And so the reason why I'm so excited to have you today, Kafir, is because what you are talking about is just in line with what we are seeing in our data every day. It's if I can get somebody to come from outside of Amazon, which is external, right? External traffic from Facebook or Google or an email, right? And then land them on my listing. Amazon values that so much more today than they ever have. And they say, I know that if you can bring a customer to Amazon, which is what these marketers are doing with external traffic, I know that that's so valuable that whenever a seller does it, they reward them with extra keyword ranking, which produces more sales. And you're saying, yeah, that's great, but I can't really keep track of my campaigns to know if I'm making money, which is most important. So yes, I'm getting a keyword ranking boost, but am I paying Google or Facebook, or am I paying too much to build a list for emails, right? So I love where you're headed with this. So you're a seller. You said, I've got this problem because I'm driving all this external traffic, but I don't know what's going on here. So what did you do from here? And what are we left with? What's the solution?
Great. So the solution that we found is that we build a platform basically that cross data from all the external traffic that you are bringing and from the little information that you're getting from Amazon attribution, and then you get much more information and the ability to actually scale and leverage your campaigns. So right now we have a platform that actually you can create the campaigns. First of all, you can create the campaigns, which is it makes the life much more easier for you, because you don't need to go to any social media to create the campaigns, or Google Ads or whatever, wherever you want to create the campaigns. And then after you're creating it, you're getting all the important information, the data, like CPC, add to cart, purchases, keyword ranking, which keyword is ranking, how much you're getting from that keyword, you know, all basically all the data that you didn't have until now. And so this is how we solved it. We built actually a platform that gives you all that data.
Yeah,
Not all the data, most of the data.
yeah. So let's talk about this, but we do have a question from Gary first. He says, so Kafir, do we land our external traffic on a product page, like an individual Amazon listing, or is it okay to have them land on our Amazon store page? What do you suggest in terms of conversion? And then also, what do you suggest in terms of attribution tracking and rewards, Kafir?
This is a great question. We've been testing it, and well, there are two ways to do that. One way is actually sending the traffic. If you are doing a social media campaigns, I prefer, and according to my experience, the best conversion and the best data that you're getting is from landing page, and not directly to your Amazon store or listing. So basically, you can do on landing page or on your store. You will build a specific page on your store for the conversion, which is also working very well. So those two things works very well, and not directly to your listing, because when you're sending traffic to your listing, you will be exposed also with all your competitors, and that is a problem. I mean, when you don't want to drive traffic to your competitors, you want to drive traffic to yourself. So, and those are the two methods that I really recommend.
So Kafir, let's explain that just a little bit more for somebody. So when you say landing page versus listing, and you're saying I'd rather have my external traffic land on a landing page, what is that? And then how do you create that as a seller?
All right. So landing page can be any other external source that you create from. There are a lot of service providers that can help you do that. When I'm saying service provider, there I can after the call, I can after the webinar, I can create a list of where you can get, how you can build landing pages. But landing pages is a page that where you're presenting your item with all the data, with everything that will explain exactly what the customer can gonna have. And then after they're getting to the landing page, to that landing page, it will send the client to the checkout on Amazon. So the checkout basically will be on Amazon, but the landing page will have an attribution link to Amazon.
Okay, great.
It's a little bit complicated to understand. I will think about the way how to simplify it later.
Okay. So Kafir, a couple people are asking Freddie, and let's see, Charles said, can we see an example, excuse me, of a buyer journey? So maybe like, do you have any situations where you're running ads right now where you could show them, hey, I'm running this Facebook ad, or I sent this email, and then they land on this page, and then here's the data that I'm able to see? Do you have anything that you could share, Kafir?
I do have, no, I don't have it right now with me. I mean, I haven't prepared anything for the call, but definitely I can show. I can email to
Okay.
all the people here later on case studies with things that we've done in the past and things that we are doing right now. And of course you can. I mean, if you want to use attribution insight later on, you will be able to see all the data for each campaign.
Yeah, this is good. Couple of more questions. Mark says, does it work to send the traffic to your specific product on your Amazon storefront?
Yeah, completely.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Freddie says, what are the actual results that you're getting, like ACOS or return on ad spend or profit? Are you running external traffic? Are you buying external traffic? And then seeing what's the average results that you guys are seeing, right? I guess is the question.
Well, it's very, it depends on the niche, depends on the goal. So we've seen some results with high echoes. I will be honest, and we saw also very low echoes. It depends how you manage the campaigns. I mean, you need to know how to manage the campaigns. This is the key point here. It's a process. It's not a magic. It's not like that you're click on a button and then you're getting amazing results and all that. It's a process that you need to build, and you need to see which keyword is ranking, which ad set is working. It's like any campaign. You need to manage it and see what works, what doesn't work, and it's a process. But we've seen really good results, and we've seen people that didn't know how to manage their campaign. So if you don't know how to do something and you're not bringing someone in to do it for you, that's a problem. But I can't say average, because it's very between a lot of niches, and things.
Yeah, I like it. So Mark says, what are you finding is the best source of external traffic? Are you converting on any certain social platform or any certain media type better than others?
Yes, the best conversions from email marketing, completely. Definitely, email marketing is the best way to convert. The highest conversion rates are from email marketing. If you have a list and you want to leverage it, I mean, the best way is to do it by that. So I strongly recommend using email marketing. It's my favorite method, by the way, email marketing, because when you have your audience that waits for your product, I mean that's perfect situation, the perfect situation for you. Unlike when you're running ads on social media, and then you need to create a funnel, and it's a longer process. When you're having your email list, that's the best thing to have. So over there, the highest conversion rates.
Okay, so I didn't pay you to say that, Kafir, but thank you for saying that, because
no, completely not.
That's what we see every day too. And actually, Kafir, last month on the monthly masterclass, I dropped everybody a document that showed the average conversion for each type of media, like social channels, search engines, email marketing, all of them. And email is double typically in terms of conversion rate than all the other ones. So you're right. Are you running any social ads or YouTube ads or search ads or anything that would be like second best, would you say?
Yeah, I think that social media like Google ads or Instagram ads, those are the best ones, also the second best. And Google ads is also good. I mean, but the second best is social.
Okay. So second best is social, maybe third best is search.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Let's see here. We had a couple more. Oh, I guess we're going to continue on in this talk here, because people are asking for your company's name. I don't even think that you named it, or you haven't even named it yet. Have you, Kafir?
No, it's a secret. I cannot reveal it.
So if you want to dive into, you had this problem as a seller, you built your own tool, and now what you basically built this amazing tool that allows you to see all the demographics behind your external traffic. If you want to walk through kind of how it helps you manage it, and then share some information people are asking.
You're asking how do we manage the campaigns and everything?
Well, what is it about the tool that allows you to manage the campaigns more effectively?
Okay, so basically, because we have it, you have it all in one place. You have all the data that you need to know in order for you to be able to scale your campaign. So you can create the campaigns, you can modify the campaigns, you can get information of specific keywords. You can change keywords, you can add keywords, you can change ad sets, you can create influencers campaign. We built a specific tool for influencers campaign, which is amazing, because that was one of my biggest pain here. I've been working a lot with influencers, Even though I haven't seen amazing results, I believe in that method because it's a long run. So what we did with influencers, so this is one of the things that you can do and will help you to manage your campaigns. We built a separate dashboard for the influencer and for the seller or agency, whoever will manage the campaigns, and that will create transparency between two sides. The influencer can see all the sales, add to cart, basically everything, and also, of course, the seller or the agency, they can see everything. So basically, you have all the tools to manage all your campaigns from one place.
Yeah, and you get to have like a better insight into, you know, how much each campaign type is.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
completely.
it's broken out by campaign type. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Kevin says, will your tool measure data from results of the sales that occur from blogs?
Basically, you can create any data that if you are doing it with attribution link from Amazon, you can monitor any data that you want. The only thing is that, and you will be able to import the campaign that you are creating from Amazon on Amazon to our platform. You will be able to create campaigns only right now. We're having it only from social media like Facebook and Instagram, Google, and TikTok, Instagram, and influencers. This is what you can create from the platform. But if you are creating a attribution campaign on Amazon and you're using it on any platform that you want, you can import it to the platform.
Okay, perfect. So Jessica says, when working with influencers, do you use attribution links or do you have them use their associates links?
Both. You can use both. We've just created an option that you can merge the two links, and then you basically create attribution link and also their associate link, and you can work with both of them. So
Okay.
it depends. It's up to what you're closing with the influencer.
So what do you mean by that, Kafir? So you're able to, so an influencer typically is sending out their associates links because they get paid a kickback from Amazon as a commission. And
Right.
the seller wants to drive their own traffic with attribution links because they get to track their marketing channels and they get paid a kickback, right? So
Right.
what you're saying is you can combine a link and then
Yes.
both parties get paid.
Exactly. This is exactly what I've said.
Wow. I've never even
Yes.
heard of that.
Yeah, because it's new. It's something new that we've done. We've just finished to develop it last week, and we saw that it's working very well because actually we had quite a big demand for that specific thing, and a few influencers asked us about that, and then we said, okay, let's try to see first of all if it's compliant with the Amazon TOS. If we can do something like that. And we found out that it's fine, we can do that, and everything is well. So we develop a specific tool that will be able to combine those two, and it will create one link for it.
That's amazing. So Kafir, you're obviously blowing up the chat box here because this is like incredible. So Freddie says, can you share and then Steve says, is this a double payment from Amazon? Jessica saying, can you share how to make those links? Steve says, is this a split commission? You got to spill the beans here, Kafir. What's going on?
So basically it's very simple because what we did is we're not splitting anything. The affiliate, which is the influencer, will get their commission from Amazon as they used to get always, and seller will get their brand referral fee bonus from Amazon. That's it. This is the process. Very simple as that.
So I'm assuming, Kafir, that when you checked with Amazon and said, okay, is this compliant, and they said yes, it's because they know that they want to incentivize that influencer to send that traffic to Amazon, and they know that if they can get the seller to go out there and incentivize influencers to send that traffic to Amazon, it's a win all the way around. So they're willing to pay.
It's a win-win-win. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah.
a
But so
triple
they're
win.
willing to pay up to like 20% almost in some cases to get that sale on Amazon.
Exactly. Yeah. As long as the influencer is not the seller and they
Right.
are not manipulating the system, that's fine.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Steve says revolutionary. Um, so let's see here. Mark says, is your platform self-service or is it done for you? So if you want to explain a little bit about, even if you want to show like how you, like what it looks like, I think it might be useful here. We have 4 minutes left and then we're going to jump into John.
I can show very quickly how it looks like. Let me open it just a second.
I guess Anand says you look like a famous Pakistani cricketer.
Really? I don't know if it's a compliment or not, but okay. I'll take it as a compliment. Okay, let me share the screen. Can you open the option for?
There you go. You should be good now.
Okay, great. All right. Everyone sees it?
Yep, we got you. There you go.
Perfect. Okay, so when you're signing up to the platform, basically you will be asked to connect all your campaign, all your accounts, Amazon, social media, etc. And this is a demo account, so of course I'm not going to do it. So this is the dashboard. Here you're going to see all the data, spend, conversion, etc., echoes. Next week you're going to see tacos. Here in each line, you can see the campaigns. You can see if it's a Facebook campaign, if it's a Google campaign, influencer campaigns. If you're running a Google ad campaign, here, by the way, you can see, of course, all the data that I just spoke about, to cart, conversion, revenue, echoes. Here you can see also the brand referral fee, how much you're getting from it. Sorry. If you're running a Google Ads, Google Ads campaign, here you can see your keywords. You can enable, disable, create new keywords, add keywords, whatever you want. Here you're going to see soon your organic rank of each keyword, and I will show now how to create campaigns. I'm doing it very quickly because I'm not going to dive too much into it. Here you can, if you're creating campaigns, Google, for example, if you're creating Google campaign, all you need to do here is to add your ASIN, and then it will take you basically by the hand and guide you how to do all the process. The process is very, very simple. It's like 5 steps. And then after you're doing all the process that you've been shown, you've been asked, you will create it. The system will create you the campaign of course, on your Google campaign, on your Google ad account, and it will create the attribution campaign. And after you're creating the campaign, you will see the campaign here on your dashboard. This is the process.
Yeah. Okay. So, so to clarify, Cheryl says, I think the question was, do we have to do this ourselves, or do you have people setting up the campaigns? But this is a tool to help you manage it, right? So like,
so you can manage it. You can manage it on yourself if you know how to manage campaigns, because you need to know how to manage campaigns on social media or whatever. Or we can help you manage it if you need. We have a team that can help you manage the.
Okay, so both options are available. That's good.
Yes.
Here's a question from Christopher. It has been difficult for me to set up the referral feed on Amazon Seller Central. Do you, by chance, have a step-by-step for us non-technical folk?
I mean, this is something that you're doing through your Seller Central. You're going to your advertising account, and you're doing it from there. I don't recall right now how to do it, but it's something that I need to see in order to be able to explain.
Mark says, let's see here. How does it work for Google campaigns we already have running? Can we add those in, or do we have to create them again?
No, you can import here. You can link existing campaign here. After you're linking on your campaign, after you're linking all your ad accounts, you will see here it will show you here all your campaigns, and here you can choose to link it or to enable it or disable it. So basically, you don't need to create it all from scratch.
There you go. So Kafir, this is amazing. You've definitely stirred up a storm here. So I know that before we jumped on, you said you had something something that you'd like to give the audience. So any parting words or do you want to share something special? I know that you'd mentioned something.
Yes, definitely. So first of all, I want to help the people create their campaigns and start doing that, because I really believe that this is the next thing on Amazon. So I created a short guide how to create your campaigns on Facebook for your Amazon sales. So basically, I have that guide, and everyone that will go to that link will be able to have that guide. Very simple guide. I've done it something well, step by step, that anyone can do. And if anyone will have any question, they're more than welcome to contact me, and ask how to do and what to do. I will be more than happy to help them. So I created that, and after the webinar, I will give 5 free accounts for 60 days.
There you go. So Kafir, I just pasted in that link that you sent me for the ads guide. So guys, in the chat box there, if you click on that link, that's what Kafir had sent over for the ads guide. And then Kafir, are you just going to pick the first 5 people that grab the ads guide for the free accounts? Okay.
Yeah.
So Cheryl, to clarify, Kafir is going to give the first 5 people that get the ads guide a free Attribution Insights account for 60 days, basically. So is that right, Kafir?
Exactly.
Tyler got the ads guide. Jessica got it. So great stuff. Chad says this has been amazing, Kafir. So guys, if you didn't get the ads guide, it's right there in the chat box. Otherwise, we'll send out, I guess we'll just attach this when we send out the replay, because this is really good stuff. So thanks so much, Kafir. This has been amazing. If we have more questions that come through in the chat, you can just check them out in the chat box, Kafir. But we're going to jump on to John. Thanks so much for sharing this, Kafir. This has been really good.
Thank you very much, Seth. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. All right, let's go ahead and stop Kafir's video. We'll get John all situated here. John, if you want to unmute.
Hello, hello, hello.
Awesome.
Thanks for having me, Seth.
John, I'm super excited to have you here as well, because we just got to hang out and Prosper in Vegas a couple weeks ago, first time in person ever. And I didn't really realize how cool the things that you were up to. I never got inside your brain, I guess, like we got to do hanging out in person. So I'm really excited to have you here and looking forward to what you're going to share today.
No, thank you. And for anyone that hasn't met Seth and Sean in person, they are both much taller than they look on screen. Like you guys are, I'm 5'11", and you guys were both towering over me.
I'm like 6'4", and Sean's 6'6". So whenever you see us in person, don't be alarmed. We are bigger than we appear.
On camera, you never know, do you? You never know if someone's 5'6" or 6'6", literally 6'6".
There you go. So, John, I don't know. Do you want to do a screen share? Do you have slides or anything?
Yep, I have some slides. So I am just going to get them up and then make sure my screen share works. Perfect.
I can hang out in the background here and pepper questions from the audience at you, or if you'd like, I can be involved. So as you go through, if you want my input or feedback or anything like that, feel free to call on me, but otherwise I'll stay out of your way.
No, please do. Feel free to pepper, ask questions.
Okay.
If anything comes up in the chat, do say it, because I can't see the chat the entire time. It's over there.
I've got you, John.
So that's awesome. Thank you.
Take it away.
Hopefully, some sellers here. Who loves Amazon seller support? Maybe type a 1 in the chat if you love seller support. 2, if you've maybe had a few issues with seller support in the past. And I like the LOL from Cheryl. So a 0, some good numbers there. So this presentation is going to be about how to get out of Amazon templated response hell to get back in control of your Amazon business, so you're not wasting time dealing with seller support. So very, very quickly, so you know what I'm talking about, who I am. Who are we? We are Seller Candy. What we do is we are the expert operations arm of your Amazon business. We're made up of ex-Amazon seller support agents. There's about 70 of us overall, 50 agents in the Philippines. What we do is we make it so you never need to talk to Amazon seller support again. And how we're different, we are ex-seller support agents. We are tech-powered. We have a platform where you can support things and you can do project management with our team. And no tricks, no silver bullets. We just work hard to get things done. You know, we're not doing any kind of tricks or calling Amazon or doing anything around the back. We're just doing best practice all day, every day, so that you can focus on operating an Amazon business. I'm also based in Vietnam, other side of the world, although I was in Prosper last week. So it is midnight for me. So if my brain turns off, sorry about that. And Seth can put me right. This is a quick list of everything we do. So if you want to take a screenshot, this is kind of a list that you can refer to in the future of stuff that Seller Candy might be able to support you with. A little bit about me. So I'm John Cavendish. Before this, I was a seller on Amazon. We sold about $5 million worth of product pre-2019. Then we moved into consulting, grew a consultancy company. And then after all of those conversations, I realized that the biggest problem that everyone was dealing with was seller support. So we stopped all that and we just focus on Amazon seller support and dealing with the headaches with that. Amazon's also allowed me to be pixelated and travel the world. Apparently this is a not very high-res picture. So what we're going to be going over is the exact strategies our team uses all day, every day. So we're going to give some value of how you can follow the process our team uses to get things done faster through seller support. I'm going to show you how to get things done faster and more efficiently. I'm going to show you how to manage the workflow. So you only need to spend 5 minutes per day dealing with them. And then we're going to go for a bonus of trying to show you how to fix some critical problems in your account. This was usually a 45-minute presentation, so it's been shrunk down by my team. So if there's something that doesn't make sense, I'll fill it in on the way through because they've deleted 30 slides. So selling on Amazon should not be about waking up in the morning grinding, shouldn't be about finding some secret marketing tactic, and it shouldn't be about having some complicated hiring and training process to employ tens of VAs. It shouldn't be about running around in circles after Amazon support. And it shouldn't be about having loads on your plate, so you don't have the time and energy to focus on, growing the business or spending time with your family. So it shouldn't be about guessing what to outsource first and wasting time on, the not important things. So we're going to go through all of these things very quickly in the next 15 minutes. We'll skip this one. Basically, what we want to do is we want to help you position yourself as the owner rather than the operator in your Amazon business. And of course, it's a webinar. We'll give you a little discount code at the end should you want to give Seller Candy a try. So part 1, solving Seller Central issues effectively. So we're going to learn how to solve some issues. And we all know who's behind those issues in your Amazon Seller Central account, don't we? It is Professor Bezos. This is my favorite picture. And he's given you a performance notification. He's been going through your account all day and he saw something. And it's a suspended listing, our worst nightmare. So this is exactly how our agents go about solving a suspended listing. Usually this comes up beautifully, not in this format. So 1, we always raise a case immediately to ask seller support what's gone on. This is a long shot, but it logs your first input with seller support and it gets the case open. And the longer the case is open, the more effort Amazon's going to throw at it because it's a KPI to close that as quickly as possible. After you've raised this case, what you want to do is figure out why. So hopefully you've received an email from Amazon saying your listing has been suspended, and this is why. It could be a product policy, authenticity, IP violation, product safety issue, hazmat issue. And in each case, you do something different. So if it's a product policy, what you want to do is you want to sanitize your listing. That means to remove anything that Amazon may have caught in a bot and taken it down. Amazon will have locked your listing though. So what do? So first, you have to get your category listing report. So that means go into Amazon reports. Now it should be available on every account, your category listing report, which is basically the flat file for all of your listings. Go through, change for the one listing you want to change to remove anything that could be construed as any kind of claim from Amazon, and then re-upload it. If it's authenticity, you need to get your real, concentrate on real invoices. Please don't generate anything sketchy. Mark them up and then send them to Amazon. If it's an IP violation, you reach out to the brand owner. If it's a product safety issue, then you need to write a plan of action. And if it's a hazmat issue, then you need to check whether it really is hazmat. So if it is hazmat, you need to get your safety data sheet. And if it's not hazmat, you need to get the exemption sheet and just upload it as quickly as possible. What if that doesn't work? So this will only work maybe 50% of the time. If it doesn't work, but you've made all those changes, this is when it's quickest to usually delete and relist your product. That's pretty scary the first time you do it, but it's all stored in Amazon's backend catalog. So you definitely won't lose reviews. You won't lose anything apart from your listing being down for 24 hours. So delete the listing, wait 24 hours, and then re-upload. It should appear live back in your account. And then if that doesn't work, that's when your time investment comes in. You want to be on the phone to Amazon and then refusing to get off until you get put through to the leadership team. So first, download Amazon's flat file or the category listing report. Hopefully then you can back them up and keep them on file all the time for yourself. You make the listings to create the sanitized, clean version. You delete the listing, wait 24 hours and re-upload. And then, you chain yourself to the phone and you call until something happens. Any questions so far, Seth?
Yes, we do. Oh yeah. So go ahead. Timothy says, re-upload the same UPC or SKU. How else do we keep reviews? Go ahead.
Yeah, great question. So it'll definitely be the same UPC because it's the same product. So it'll create the same thing with the same SKU. And it will keep reviews because the reviews are linked to the ASIN, the ASIN, which is linked to your UPC. So one UPC, one product identifier, whether that's UPC or a GTIN or whatever, linked to one ASIN. And then all your reviews are linked to that in Amazon's backend catalog. You have no control over that, really.
Okay.
I saw
Saba says, thank you. This is really helpful. So that's amazing. Also says, but what if we don't delete the listing and upload the flat file just like this? So do you any commentary on that, John?
Yeah, for sure. So first, don't delete the listing, just upload an updated flat file. So don't delete it first, just do the update and see if that works. And then if that doesn't work, then you can delete and then re-upload 24 hours later.
Perfect. And then Mark says, what was the title of the support agent that we want to get on the phone again?
The leadership team.
The leadership team. Perfect. And William says, make sure that you save your SKU name before you do this because it can feel scary. Great. Great comment, William. Iman says, is this process the same if the suspension reason is due to a customer complaint that isn't accurate? Do you take the same steps, John?
It's a great question. That would most likely be a plan of action to be addressing a voice of the customer complaint. It really depends on an issue by issue basis there.
John, it seems like everybody's having issues with seller support because there's tons of commentary here. So Ben says, we changed the product labels on one of our most popular items on Amazon, and it is not displaying the new images. Confirm that they have it. Can you guys help getting the new images up for the product? We've contacted support and they are no help.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, we can. I mean, all these things sometimes are quick to solve. Sometimes it's a bit of a war of attrition with Amazon because they've had the previous images and they've had most contribution. So Amazon kind of does it as contribution. What has most sales gone through in the content for the listing? And most of them have gone through the old images. But yeah, we can support in that, but it might be a bit of back and forth and they changed back, they're back, but eventually it will come through.
Gaurav says, so deleting the listing will also delete the reviews that we got on that listing. So after we upload, will the reviews also come back?
Yes, so the reviews will come back because when you delete the listing, it won't actually delete the reviews because they're in the back end of Amazon rather than actually in your account. They're in the Amazon backend catalog.
Yes. Sally says, is there a way to control Amazon reviews? Hold on, it skipped. We have some very mean comments that are false.
Yeah, everyone has that. We probably have maybe a 20% success rate on removing non-compliant reviews. But unfortunately, Amazon doesn't seem meanness as non-compliance unless they're saying something that isn't true factually, the color, the delivery, something like that.
Ben says they've informed us that a new label needs to be uploaded as a new product.
Yeah, well, that depends on the product and what changes you've made. Whether you've changed the formulation, whether you've changed how badly you've changed the packaging. It's a case-by-case basis, but if you reach out to our team, for sure, we can give you some guidance on that.
John, there's all kinds of people that are saying, hey, I have this issue. Can you help? I have this issue. Can you help? So I don't know if you want to try to touch on all these right now, or if you want to try to go through your presentation.
We've only got till the top of the hour, don't we?
A little bit after the top of the hour, because I think, just a few minutes after would be fine. We can stretch it a little bit, but
that's all right. I know. Yeah, we could go into this for like 2 hours. So what I'll do is I'll go through the next bit if that's all right, and then we can skip forward and I can answer any questions about the service because there's a few service questions in there as well. So I will get to all of you.
Thank you, John.
If it takes 3 hours and all of Seth's afternoon. Okay, so part 2, getting expert support without the drama. So before coming to us, just a little bit about us. What people usually do is they try and find somewhere else. They go to Upwork, they go to Fiverr, or they may even go to Indeed or Monster and actually try and find a human being that can do this. The problem with that is people tend to hire people that aren't experts, which means they ask for guidance, and then you have to manage this employee, which at the end of the day is opportunity cost if they're not the right person who stays with you for a very long time. So our ethos is it's simple. You just need experience and numbers. So experience of many, many people and just all these people together. And this gives access to a larger team that's well paid, but at a level that your business can reasonably afford. You don't have to pay $5,000 just to get your seller support stuff done. We think this is good for our clients and good for you because it gives you access to a team. You'll eliminate the need to source, hire, and train and manage staff, and there's no need for oversight. So you can trust that the work will get done and done right, which is a scalable solution. So you can start at our base rate and move all the way up as your business grows. All right, I'll dive through this one. This is actually quite an in-depth bit. I'm going to summarize this so that we can actually get to the questions. So what we do is we run a gap review on every client that we onboard. And usually what I do here is I take you through a full gap process so that you can do it on your own account, because that's the goal here. This is probably going to take more than 10 minutes. So what I will do is I will share these slides afterwards if you want, Seth, so you can send them out afterwards. And I'll share a link to anyone. If you just email me, I'll send you the slides. And from there you can do it yourself. Bit of DIY account help. So these are the things that we look at when we look at someone's account. So look at the back end, any listing errors, a marketing overview, buy box suppressions, account health issues, and expansion opportunities. And there is a whole presentation on each of those things. We then analyze the impact of each of these things. So when you're looking at those, you look at the impact and rate it on a scale of 1 to 10. Then look at the cost time analysis, rate that on a scale of 1 to 10. And priority, we rate that on a scale of 1 to 10, which gives you an overall score out of 30, which gives you your prioritization for your account. So any client that signs up with us, we take you through an audit, like a health audit of your account, and give you a prioritized list of stuff to give to us. And we're like, here's a load of stuff that we can take off your hands immediately. That's the goal with Seller Candy. Gives you a fresh perspective on where you are, gives you the steps which you will take to where you want to be, and it'll make a huge impact on your business if you follow this plan. So a little bonus, we'll tell you a little bit about Seller Candy so we can answer the questions. So what Seller Candy gives you is a highly experienced team with ex-Amazon employees collaborating on your account together. You get unlimited tasks, which means you have access to our portal. You can submit as many things as you want to us, and we'll line them all up. And a task is any one-time thing inside seller support. So it's not performance related. We don't do performance management. We just do anything inside Seller Central that drives you crazy. For example, creating shipment plans. Someone said I saw popped up in the chat. Dealing with plans of action, updating your content, calling, raising cases. Basically, you never need to talk to seller support again. We have 1 business day turnaround. And with the package that I'll tell you about in a minute, you get 3 simultaneous tasks. So the way we make money is we have this portal. You submit as much stuff as you want, and we give you bandwidth. So you get 3 tasks at a time we're working on. We finish one, open the next one, finish one, open the next one, work our way through like that. And then depending on how much you pay, you get a different number of simultaneous tasks. In our portal, you can prioritize things. So do it now, do it next, do it back of the queue. And that's how we make money. With our standard seller subscription, you get access to as many marketplaces as you need for your 1 Amazon account. And if you're an agency, we have packages for that too. We do inventory projection and make you cool reports and help you plan out for the holiday season. And as an option, we can do Amazon return reimbursements. So our little sales pitch here. If you want to add expertise to your team without the hassle, if you like the idea of using a full team to support your account, if you have a specific problem you want to solve on seller support, and someone to deal with all the problems you face every month, if you want to know what the next steps are to get more out of your Amazon business, and if you like the idea of, this is like a quarter of our team, of seeing a quarter of our team over there getting together in the Philippines, then consider joining Seller Candy. It's a month-to-month agreement. You get direct access to me and our senior team. Your price is locked in for 12 months, but it's only a month-to-month agreement. And that's about it, really. I went through that the fastest I've ever done it. So apologies to anyone who I went to that 100 miles an hour.
No, I think that was really good, John. You're going to have a lot of questions, I'm sure, still. So guys, we have like 9 minutes left with John. Obviously, he's been around the block a time or two. And now you know the reason why I wanted to bring him on and let him share. So John, let's kind of open it up for Q&A. What is it? What's your Seller Central question? Let's dig into it now. So first one that pops up right here is from Christopher. I'll just read it to you. As a new seller, one of the things that was never on my radar when entering the platform was patent infringement concerns. What's the best practice when sourcing products to steer clear of this? Any insight?
Great question. I mean, I'm not an expert on sourcing. I've done a decent amount of sourcing in the past, but you've probably got a load of really good speakers on sourcing that have come on here that are better than me.
So no comment, Christopher, on the patent infringement. We've all kind of gotten ourselves in a tight spot before. With that, I can vouch for that. Okay, so Freddie says, could you clarify from the menu, what would be a task from the menu? So you had like the services menu earlier. Like, can you just run through real quick what you mean by like a task?
So a task is anything you submit to our portal. So it could be, let's go through here, could be as complex as inactive listing, like a suppressed listing. Could be as simple, well, relatively simple, changes don't necessarily propagate through to Amazon as, updating listing attribute, merging some ASINs, ensuring that you want an update done that reflects on the front end of Amazon as well as the back end, and you don't want to go around in circles forever asking seller support why your change isn't reflecting. Creating coupons, IP violations, account health issues, removing negative feedback, which will be done pretty quickly as long as we don't go around and, again, get stuck forever. Basically, anything on this list can be counted as a task, and it varies between 24 hours and as long as it takes. But that's why we have several, so that we can pause one if we get stuck.
Amazing. So Marco says, can you help with hazmat issues?
Yeah, we can help with hazmat issues. Root cause analysis, figure out what it is, and then what needs to be done.
Timothy has some feedback on the patent question. So he says, use tests. It lists all current and expired patents. It's not very hard to do that search at the Patent and Trademark Office. So that's good feedback, Timothy. I've spent plenty of time on that site. Let's see here. Gaurav says, deleting an ASIN has scared me since the start and never tested it. After deleting the listing, they should be relisted after 24 hours. Is that right?
Yes, you need to wait over 24 hours. So just sit on your hands a little while.
So Iman says you pay per task or a monthly subscription. So maybe John, you can just answer the service questions there in the background in the chat, or run through it real quick, because we have a lot of questions here. Like, do you help with this? Do you help with that? So I think you'll help with pretty much everything besides advising as your attorney.
Yeah, we don't do anything legal. We can refer you to any of the other amazing guys that have been on the Post Purchase Pro podcast webinar.
Yep.
In terms of the service, we have a few different packages ranging from 2 simultaneous tasks up to 30 if you're an agency. You pay us a flat fee per month, so it's not a per task, it's just a flat monthly fee. We have a guarantee, so if you don't like it in the first month, we'll give you 100% of your money back, no questions asked. Well, questions asked, we'll ask you why you want to leave, and then we'll give you your money back. And that never happens, really. It's a 1 in 200 shot. So Yeah, just give us a go. We want to prove ourselves to you and make you ecstatically happy. Great raving fans.
That's amazing. Janice says, I can vouch for the listing deletion commentary. She says, I once accidentally deleted all of my listings when uploading a flat file, and then they started to come back after 12 hours. So great comment, Janice. Let's see here. Ryan says, do you do one-off tasks, or must we be with you monthly?
We have a starter package at $597 a month, which we can also give you $100 off. We like to give a month because there's always other stuff that we find in the account, and we do like to do that health check audit when we start getting someone on board, and then give you a load of stuff to give to us. Then if you want to stay with us after the month, you can. It's up to you, really.
Perfect. So Freddie says a tasks could be case per review. I'm not really sure. Maybe you can look at Freddie's question there, John.
Task can be each case per review, or it can be an audit the whole account per listing. Also not quite sure there, Freddie. So I mean, a task, if you want us to audit your account, like a health check, we will do that anyway when we onboard you. And if you want us to do another one in the future, to remove reviews. Yeah, so removing reviews is a bit of a war of attrition with Amazon, and it has to be a non-compliant review. So I would say give us 1 or 2 of those at a time, and we will go to war. For feedback, much easier, but Amazon's rejecting about 30% of feedback removal requests at the moment, and we'll push those ones through that Amazon rejects for you.
All right. William clarifies, when you delete your listing for 24 hours, your inventory will go into stranded inventory, but will be okay once you reactivate the listing after 24 hours. Great. Jessica says, what is considered a non-compliant review?
It has to violate Amazon's terms of service. So different product, blatantly not about this product. And then Amazon will still send you back their stupid template. So we didn't find any problem with this review. It's like, yeah, but it's for a coffee cup, and I'm selling whatever else you're selling. Yeah, but you have to keep going back and forth with them on that stuff.
All right, amazing. So could the tasks be of different accounts, or just one account in the starter package?
In the starter package, it's just one account. But we have deals. If you want two packages, we'll give you a discount. Basically, you just need to talk to our sales team.
And then which marketplaces do you guys work with?
Great question. We do pretty much all of them. We're not as expert in Japan. We've only had one client in Japan, but pretty much everything else. So Australia, Europe, US, pretty much everything else.
All right, amazing. Let's see here. Cheryl just says, so we have 2 minutes left here, John. Cheryl says, do you recommend trying to get rid of a 5-star review of a product that isn't yours, or just leave it alone?
I mean, if it's 5-star, I would probably just leave it there. It helps, especially if it's an actual review, not a rating. So it's so much more powerful. I would just leave it there, unless someone's trying to place it there and then upvote it to the top, and they're doing some kind of weird shady tactics.
AJ says, why does seller support deny our request to remove reviews that clearly violate policy? How do we get around that?
Just keep going over and over again. Call if you have to. It's because there's not a human reviewing it. It's just a bot.
Let's see here. So Cheryl's going to leave that review. That's what I would suggest as well. Okay. So any final words here, John? We have 1 minute left, and then we're going to move on to the next presenter.
Final words. We're here to support the industry. So if you have any questions, anything that's come up, anything you're concerned about, do fire me an email if you want to, john@sellercandy.com. I will put you in touch with someone on our team who can help you out. If you have any questions about the service, also shoot me an email. I'll either reply, I'll send an email back to you, or introduce you to the right person. And just thank you so much, Seth, for having me and Seller Candy on the webinar.
Absolutely. So you're getting some good love here. Kevin says, thank you, John. John, do you have the link that you shared earlier? That way I can post it in the chat box for everybody, just to make it easy.
Oh, the sign up link?
Yes, wherever you shared earlier.
Hey,
Oh, there we go. Hey, Brendan.
Oh, I've seen that man before.
Hello. Mr. Cavendish, good looking man. The international
You must be
webinar of destiny. Hello, everyone.
early in the morning.
So John, thank you so much for coming on here. Guys, we're going to move on now since looks like we are right on schedule. Thank you so much, John.
Oh, thanks for having me. See you guys.
See you, John. All right. So guys, I hinted at it earlier at the very beginning, and I hinted at it in some of the emails, but this is the moment that I've been waiting for, because Brendan is the only person that has ever received a perfect score in terms of value when we asked the sellers that attended a conference or a masterclass to vote on the valuableness of the content. So Brendan, I'm super excited to have you. I know you and I just hung out in Las Vegas together. I got to take you on your, one of your bucket lists to walk you out over the Grand Canyon on the, what do they call it? The Sky Bridge. And you got
Sky
to
Bridge, that's right.
Yeah. You got to look down below your feet and see the canyon in all its glory. So that was really amazing to do so. And I'm super excited to have you on again, because like you said, last time you blew my mind. I can't wait for you to blow everyone else's minds today.
Perfect. Well, thank you for that great introduction. It's not really sure where I can go from 10 out of 10. You set the bar pretty high. But, just give some love and value. And just to let everyone know, this is coming to you live from Sydney, Australia, from Bondi Beach. And we are here at 4 in the morning, because that is the love that I have for Sean and for Seth and for all you guys, because we're going to show you some cool stuff. So I'm not going to waste time. I'm just going to go straight into the content. All right, that's what these guys are no mucking about, and that's the rules. So we're going to give you some really cool stuff. Oh, there he is. Look at that good-looking man. Hello, Sean.
Hey, Brendan, I hate to interrupt you, pal, but I'm on vacation, but I just had to log in here. I want to make sure everyone in our community understands how important it is what you're sharing today. Listen, guys, when I first met Brendan last year, it was in Cancun. I knew that this guy, or this bloke, I should say, was something extraordinary. Brendan just started blowing my mind with all of these tips and strategies when it comes to how he builds businesses and amazing brands on Amazon. And Brendan actually super coming up. I won't tease it, but make sure you go anywhere. Brendan invites you to there. And you need there. Come hunt the few people that I literally send my own children to learn how to grow brands on Amazon. You're not my children, but I love you just the same. So pay close attention to Brendan. Thank you for taking the time to share today, man.
It is my pleasure. Anything for you guys. You ticked off the bucket list, the Grand Canyon. You took me on the Sky Bridge. I looked down at the hollow of the ground was transparent. So I don't know, it was a prank that you were playing on me, but I felt like I was going to fall 1,000 meters to my demise. But luckily that was made of real high quality Perspex glass. Not sure if it's made in China, but let's not go there. And today I'm going to jump. Are you guys ready for me to jump into the content, or any more?
Let's jump in, Brendan. All good.
Okay.
I just wanted to make sure everyone knew exactly what kind of treat they were in for. So I'm back on vacation now. Take it away, brother.
Okay, awesome. And Sean and Seth, that $2,000 gift you wanted me to give away, we've thought long and hard about it, and unfortunately, we can't say no to you. So everyone's going to get that at the end. So I made that happen for you guys because it's you. So let's jump into the content, everyone, and get excited because what you're going to learn today is how to maximize your profits by importing high quality goods, getting them on time, and paying a fraction of what other people pay. So we're going to get straight into the content, and at the end is something really, really cool that I haven't done before, that these guys somehow use their voodoo hypnotism to get me to do. So let's stick around for that, and you'll see. But for now, let's get some cool content. So very, very briefly, I'll talk about my story. I don't want to spend too much time on that, but that's me with the world's #1 importer, right? As far as I'm concerned, that's my dad, Nat Elias. And he was born in 1935. When he was 7 years old, it was 1942. For any history buffs, you might know that in 1942, World War II broke out. Now, he was positioned in Singapore, and the Japanese invaded. And he was a 7-year-old boy, and he was put in the internment camps as a 7-year-old boy with his mother. When he was 8, he was declared under the Japanese occupation to be essentially a man and moved to the men's camps where he had to fend for himself as an 8-year-old boy. So he had a beautiful singing voice. Sadly, he's no longer with us. He would sing to the Japanese samurai soldiers for a cigarette, and then he would, get a couple of cigarettes, swap that for a bag of oranges, and then after a few hours, he would swap that for a bag of sardines, and and he was king of the camps for the day. But then at the stroke of midnight, everything reset, and he had to do it again the next day. So he learned how to negotiate. He learned how to hustle. He learned how to really, make things move forward. But he also learned 3 languages in China: Mandarin, Cantonese, Fukien. And when he came to my home country of Australia and met my mum and fell in love, he started his business buying stuff from China. So the reason why I'm sharing this with you is I didn't just wake up one morning at 4 a.m. And fall out of the importing tree and hit there's every stick on the way down. I live and breathe this because it's in my blood. So I'm very blessed and privileged to tell you that my mum and dad, Nat and Vivian Elias, were the first people to bring Donkey Kong into my home country of Australia. Who's heard of Donkey Kong? Let me know. Feel free to type that in the chat. Well, that was my mum and dad for Australia, and they wanted me to grow up to be a lawyer, and I did. If actually they wanted me to become a doctor, but my grades weren't high enough. So they thought, well, Brennan's not smart enough to become a doctor. Well, maybe he could become a lawyer instead. So I did a law degree, but I have a confession, and that is that I never made $1 off my law degree in my entire life, because I started importing, because I saw what my mum and dad were doing before me and how much money they were making. And they put us all through, the very, very, very best schools. Me and my 2 brothers, Damien and Jason, all went to the best schools. And that's because of the money my mum and dad made through importing. So when I started, it was 2001. So I'm a 22 plus years something veteran importer. Sounds crazy. And I was doing this, when I was in my teen years, right? So just look at this face, and this is not the face of a teenager, so you can work it out. Back then it wasn't Amazon, it was eBay in Australia, because Amazon was just a bookstore. And I became an eBay power seller. And I haven't looked back, and I made, millions and millions of dollars. But the thing that you should be excited about is that I've also made other people millions and millions of dollars. I went all around China to all these places that you see: Beijing, Guangzhou, Yiwu, where Sean years ago, because he's also got years of experience, would go to Yiwu with his students and teach them some really cool stuff as well, and show them how to buy. And I went to Chinese cities all around, visiting factories, trade shows, trade events. And I've imported hundreds of different products. I think it's closer to 600 to 700. I haven't counted them all, but everything you see at one point in time, and sometimes twice, because there's a product life cycle, I've imported. So we're talking gardening equipment. We're talking camping stoves, jumping castles. Yes, I did jumping castles. These were transparent perspex locks, so you could learn how to lock picking cases that would teach you how to do that. Rubber door stoppers, probably the most boring product of all, but it made these ones, and these ones can be spent on things that are fun and interesting, exciting. So how boring are they? And if you want to know which product out of all those that may be the most money, well, it's these. If you have a look at those motorcycles, they were called pocket bikes or pocket rockets. Man, these are amazing. We used to buy them out of China for $82 and sell them for several $100s. And we were doing 35 a day at peak. So you can do the math there. That's a 7-figure business. So my dream was to impress my mum and dad and show them that I didn't need to be a lawyer, but I could stand on my 2 feet. So my dream was bringing one of these 40-foot containers. Of course, I did within my first year of importing. Haven't looked back since. I'm still bringing products in all the time. I love also helping people bring their products in all the time. I'm going to show you also today how you can actually learn how to source anything, and I mean virtually anything, for pennies on the dollar, and how you could spend some special time with me and some cool people showing you how to do it. So I opened my very first importing warehouse and company. It allowed me to bring in my own products. I started putting my own brand, private labeling them. And if you can see there, can you guys read? You guys with the eagle eyes, can you read the name of the brand? Can you guys read the name of the brand of these products? Of course, they're called Samurai, and that was the product that I sold. This is the pictures that I used. Not very flashy pictures, but as time went on, I got more fancy. But the good thing is that I just got started. Now, here's what we teach people, right? So feel free to write this down. There may be 2 or 3 times during this entire presentation. We're going to go for another half an hour or so. I don't see the goods. I don't see the customers. I don't even see the money. It just appears in my bank account. We'll repeat this again. This is a quote from the Australian Financial Review. I don't see the goods. I don't see the customers. I don't even see the money. It just appears in my bank account. Here's the type of money. This is from one of the product lines. And this is about $60,000 to $90,000 a week. That's $3 to $5 million a year. This is just from what we were doing on the pocket bikes. You can see that the way we do it is by building a niche, a quarter of an inch wide, 8 miles deep, having multiple products, not just surviving off one product, but thriving off many products. So each of those pieces of the pizza that you see there, it's a pretty badly cut pizza. I think, Mario would have been fired from the pizza shop for this one. But you can see that each different part represents a different part of the entire pizza. And when you put them all together, that's a bigger pizza. So how did I do it? Well, I cut out the retailer, I cut out the wholesaler, the importer, and the importing agent. I just went directly to the factory, and that's what I'm going to show you how to do. This is probably the last slide on me, and then we're going to move into the stuff you came to learn, which isn't about me and how cool and good looking I am. Thanks, Mum. But you're going to learn a lot of cool stuff. So you should listen to me because I've been invited by the Australian government to speak at their trading body, Austrade. I have been the Secret Exposed series, and the bottom left is my China import course. This front page of Sydney Morning Herald, eBay, Way, The Age, and for my friends over in the United States of America, Fox News, CBS, Money Watch, quite a few that don't come to mind at 4:15 in the morning. So here's what we're going to learn. The most important thing out of if I took all the students I've taught, which is well over several thousand over the last 12 years, we started teaching in 2009, by the way. So we are the longest running e-commerce education and sourcing education company on the planet. And that's why, people like Sean we see and Seth, who just have high, knowledge and integrity. And these are the people that we love working with. And there are very few people who get me up this early in the morning to help you. But what I will share with you is this. That is that those of my students who've been successful versus exponentially successful, there's been one thing in their mind. It's not the strategies or the tactics, but it's what goes on between here, the gray matter. And it's been the mindset. So here's what I've learned, right? That the money goes to people who are prepared to handle headaches. Not people who work hard. Working hard is great, but those who are prepared to solve problems and handle headaches. It's not about having no problems. It's about having as many or few as possible, but knowing how to solve them. And that is knowledge and education. You've got to learn how to manage risks. And headaches are very good for you because that means that everyone else will quit, right? You might have heard the last mile of the marathon is the least crowded. And you will have problems you won't ever know the answer to, but the good news is that it's often there on the other side of the decision. You have to jump in and have someone holding your hand through the way. So we're going to learn a few things. So one thing that's going to make your life really easy about importing, like, Brendan, this is all scary. Well, what you need to make it really easy is you have a thing called a sourcing agent. And they help you manufacture your products in places like China, but not necessarily China. It can be anywhere. They're usually savvy businessmen and expert communicators that bridge the gap with the East and the West. It's very lazy, labor intensive. You do not want to be a sourcing agent. Trust me, I can tell you that because I am a sourcing agent. We've been sourcing for our clients for over 12 years. And it involves a vast amount of management between this client and the factory. But we know what we're doing. And the margins can be, somewhere between 7% on a big order, which is not very much if you think about it, especially if your agent gets you a discount of 10%, you're actually 3% in front and don't have to do any work. And for very small orders, it can be as high as 20%. So, a sourcing agent knows the business better than you do. They find manufacturers for you. You can find them in Hong Kong, Shanghai. And the reason why you want them to do it is because they're experts in it. Just like I don't file my own taxes and I won't plumb my own toilet. And I won't eat a plum out of the toilet. Those 3 things I would never do because I would get my plumber or I would get my my accountant or my mother-in-law to do the 3 things. Hope you're paying attention. So trade shows and websites are also really good ways of finding products if you want to do this by yourself. There's a big one in the US. A lot of you, if you're Amazonian sellers, will like to go to the ASD. There's a German trade show in Frankfurt, in Delhi this year. No, last year I was in Delhi for the trade show. Wow, flies quickly. Hong Kong trade shows, I used to like them. I don't like them anymore. They're not as cool. Chinese trade shows, and the famous Canton Fair, which has been COVID closed, and it's just opened up again after quite a while. And I like to find my products just like, you know, everyone else on Alibaba, global sources. These are two really good things. And these trade shows are here to basically show you how to find products physically. But you don't need to go there. You can do it all online, and you can use a sourcing agent, right? But what do you import? Well, we like recommending people to do consumable items. Why? Because people have to come back again and again and again and again. Products where there's existing markets, products you can mass manufacture. That's the key, right? Because once you've said it, you forget it and just gets reproduced. Products where you can do a custom design. Now, we tell you that only buy products that exist out there. We don't want to reinvent the wheel. We don't teach our students at our workshops that they should create something from scratch. This is not a prototype. You know, we're not creating the next iPhone or Apple. We're just finding something simple that exists, whacking our logo and design on it, and selling that using the best strategies that you learn from people like Seth and Sean. So now that we've found suppliers, how do we shortlist our suppliers? Well, very simple. In a perfect world, we use the product sourcing domination template. Now, this is something that my dad showed me the basics of how to do. And I spent the last 12 years, and this is something that I only ever give to my full paying, not the partial paying, but the full upfront paying students that join my program. These are the only ones who get this very special template, which will show you how to get amazing products at less than factory prices. In a lot of cases, to get some safe things. Now, guess what? You guys are going to get a copy of the sourcing domination template for free today, simply by typing the word sourcing. So if you do it, it doesn't count if you don't type it in. So go ahead, type the word sourcing, SOURCING, into the template, into the chat. Anyone who gets it will be eligible to download it in just a few moments. And this is something because my arm was twisted by Sean and Seth to give away all my best stuff, because they ticked off the bucket list, the Grand Canyon. So there's a couple of things I'm going to be doing for you guys today. So in a perfect world, you're going to use my template. You are going to need to do that. So do type it in. Now, let's say you send out 20, you copy and paste in Alibaba. Like, can you copy and paste? Well, if you are on the webinar now, you can do that. Let's say you get 20 responses back from 20 suppliers. You get all of the price divided by 10. That's your average. You know, the 4 to 6, and that's kind of your market median. And what I like to do is I like to eliminate the 2 most expensive factories and the 2 cheapest factories. I pick the ones that have delivered to the US, and I pick the ones that have the best communication. If not, I just start again. That's it. So if we have 5 factories that come back to us, one at $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, I get rid of the most expensive one, the $5 one, the $1 one, and I'm left with $2, $3, and $4. We get rid of the most expensive one. Why? Because we're here to make money. We're buy low, sell high. There's no profit if we take the highest, but we don't take the lowest one. Anyone want to guess why? Because of quality, right? And also that's where the scammers are. They'll always be at the bottom of the market, never the middle, and rarely at the top. So the other things we want to consider is the quality of the product. How many do we need? Where is it shipping from? And how long does it take to produce? Pretty much the simple things that we consider as well. We also want to make sure that the person we're dealing with has integrity, which means that they've actually exported to where we're selling it. So if I have 2 factories, one's charging me $1, but it's never sent anything to the US, and the one's $1.05, right? But it ships to the US every day and twice on Sundays. Well, am I going to pay $1, or I'm going to pay a little bit more, $1.05, for the one with experience and integrity in that market? And the answer, of course, is pay a little bit more. I like ones that respond quickly, that they're professional, and that they have the ability to follow instructions. My dad used to say, Brendan, I asked for a screwdriver, and they gave me a hammer, right? And be aware of people like that. And that happens sometimes. You'll ask a factory for A, and they'll give you B. They'll never answer the question that you want. So how do I arrange sampling? So once you've shortlisted suppliers, then it's very simple. You send my template out, you get samples from the factory. You want to make sure that they're good. A good sample can save you thousands. Samples aren't free, but I'll show you how to get them for free. And that is that you ask the factory for the sample, which might be, $50, and you ask them to credit that $50 back off your order. And I've never had a no to that question per day. And if you have maybe one or two factories, you can just meet them in the middle and consolidate them as well for your product. So how do we negotiate with the factories? Well, once we got it, we tell the supplier they've done a great job. We compliment them the product, but we can't pay more than our target price, which might be 5% less than you've negotiated before with a factory. They're very good negotiators, the Chinese, so don't be too aggressive. And you can write an order, get them ready straight away. Now, I like to order 2 to 3 months bulk, and that often gets you a bit of a discount as well. Now, what many people know this, but the Chinese have won the importing game by using rebates, and they used to subsidize their factories to the tune of 17%. It's a little bit less now, 13, sometimes 9, sometimes less. And these factories on Alibaba have this discount, and they build it into the price. So that's why it's so cheap in China. So placing your order, you want to write a purchase order agreement. Very, very simple. It's just line by line what you're agreeing. If it's a huge order, more than $20,000, then consider paying $200 for someone to translate it. You go through each item one by one. Be very clear. There can't be any vagueness, and every material term needs to be in the agreement. How do we pay the factories? Well, the way it works is if you have a $5,000 order, you want to pay 30% upfront. What does that mean? Well, you want to pay $1,500 upfront, and the other 70% you pay once the goods are ready. Now, sometimes the factory will say, can you pay half upfront? And can you pay half later? And generally that's no, but for a small order, that can be acceptable. And don't feel scared to pay for the sample. That's normal. And it's best to pay through PayPal for a sample, not for a big order because of PayPal's fees. But you could always put as a commercial product and not family and friends when you tick the box on PayPal. And that way, if the factory doesn't send the sample, you can get your money back within, I think, 90 days now it is. And one thing is stay away from Western Union. So if you have a factory and they say to you, Brendan, we want you to pay our $10,000 order, let's say a $5,000 order with Western Union. Well, we have 2 pieces of advice for you at A to Z Formula. The first thing you do, are you ready for it? You ready? Run. Well, anyone know what the second thing is? It's that run faster, right? Don't use Western Union. That is the tool of scammers on the interwebs. So cool. So now we have our product. We have your magic template, which you're all going to get because you've been listening. You have your product suppliers shortlisted. You've got your sample. Now it's ready to produce the order, and you just have to make sure it's done on time. So why would a factory not be on time? Well, the thing is this, sometimes in China, there can be labor shortages. There can be a bit of electricity shortage. There are brownouts, which are different to blackouts. Brownouts, anyone know what that is? That's where there's too many people using the electricity supply, not enough electricity to go around. So they ration it, right? And what happens is that means that the factory won't have electricity for the day. And that happens sometimes, more for the remote factories than the big ones in places like Shanghai, Guangzhou, and Shenzhen. But once in a while, a factory will come to you with their problems. You need to be able to discern the difference between a real problem and a porky pie. And what a porky pie is, it is where they do not tell you the truth. And you've got to be able to know that, right? So sometimes they just have too many orders, not enough staff. And what happened, you'll notice that because they'll keep pushing the date back and unable to cope with the demand. And at the end of the day, the factory are here to make money. They can be fun. You could be your friends, but they're not your friend at the end of the day when it comes to Benjamin Franklin, because they will put the product where it best supports themselves. So how do we all handle this? Well, very simple. You can pay $100 to $200 for a factory audit for someone to go into a factory before you place the order and check the factory exists and that their work is there. Awesome. The next thing, of course, is that prevention is better than the cure. So make sure that you understand how many days it's going to take to produce the goods, and always set up a deadline penalty. So if the goods are going to be ready in 21 days, well, for every day they're late, then in the agreement, I just say there's a 1% penalty. And if they're more than 10 days late, then there's a 10% penalty, which means for a $5,000 order, they've got to reduce it by $500. And I have the right to cancel if they're too late. They're scared of that because they'll be stuck with stock. So I like to use just-in-time production, not just in time, not just in Timberlake, which is 2 weeks of supply. And one thing, the factory will never start producing until, they're paid. And I like to find out if, my product has multiple components, like for example, my pocket bikes, the engines would take 30 days and everything else would take 14. So when I made my first order, I bought triple the engines I needed. And on my next 2 orders, it was ready in 14 days because the part, the weakest part of a chain is the bit that slows it down. And that's the bit I reordered. And if something goes wrong with supply, don't get indignant. Just, accept it and get it fixed and move forward. Cool. So we've got another 10 to 15 or so minutes left. And I'm going to teach you a couple more things. I'm going to give you a couple of gifts, right? So here's a slide that has survived since 2010 or so. This is the oldest slide in my deck, and it's survived. It's a surviving slide. I update things all the time. But this is a cool story about farmers dirty over a shipment of fertilizer. When it came to Australia, it turned out not to be fertilizer, but soil. They did the old switcheroony. And soils, Australians are not scared as much of people importing guns and drugs as they are of contaminants and soil, because it can ruin our multi-billion-dollar crop industry. One little bug can cause havoc because it has billions of babies. So these guys brought in a container, or actually 20 containers full of dirt, right? 34 actually, and it got through. And then it turned out not to be fertilized, so it was useless. And it was decided that soil was contaminated, so they had to pay to get that destroyed. And they lost all of their money for the order, the shipment, and they had to pay the Australian government. So they lost their pants on that one. Now, moving forward, so in terms of quality control, the reason why we have bad quality for places like China is that, look, often though these factories are not exporting factories. They just produce locally. So you don't want to buy off these factories that only produce locally, right? In fact, you don't want to buy off the ones that export. You want to buy the ones that export to your selling country, which is most likely going to be the US of A. Often for some of you, it will be Europe as well. And the other thing is that it's not poor quality. People forget this. It's just that the standards are different, right? It's like if it's in Chinese, it could be a great quality product, but that's not relevant for the US market. So, the standards of what quality is, quality is just a list of specifications. So the other thing is, often some people, especially beginners, they come from the Donald Trump school of negotiation, and the only way they can make a profit is by shortchanging, you on quality, especially if you've negotiated such a low price, it's not sustainable. They won't say no to the order. They'll just send you a bucket of steaming horse poo, right? So make sure the deal remains interesting. The factory, everyone deserves to make money. You and the factory and the customer deserves a good quality product at a good price. So final tips on negotiation. Sometimes it's good to, if it's a product that's made almost solely of human resources and labor and little material, then you can use a local Chinese currency, because then it won't fluctuate too much. One thing I like to do is, buy products in as bulk as possible. I go for long-term relationships, not short-term. And if the factory ever says no to you, then you don't go, okay, you go, okay, but, can I please have a 3% discount? And they say no. And you say, okay, but could I please have the goods ready in 2 days earlier? So always ask for something when you get a no, so that you can keep the respect alive. All right. Awesome. So that's pretty much it. I'm going to give you a couple of bonuses now. How's it? I'm just checking in. Have you guys been enjoying this? Is it helpful? Would you like to, know how to actually have someone do this for you and do all the sourcing for you? If that's you, then just say yes, or help, or sourcing, or whatever you want to type. You can type in bananas if you like. But just checking in how I'm doing, and a couple of bonuses of topics, because Sean said, hey, as Seth said, please make sure that you give all your best tactics. And these are things that are advanced. And Sean said that, that this is a very advanced group. So I'm going to give you stuff that I usually reserve for students who've been in my program for many, many months. So when you buy from China and places like China, you'll think you buy from the factory, but often on places like Alibaba, there'll be this thing called a trading company, which will pretend to be a factory. And they're just these greedy little middlemen that stand in the middle. So you go to Alibaba, how do you avoid them? You use my sourcing donation template, which you're going to get, you shortlist them. And then what you do, you pay the balance and you ship the goods. Now, to avoid the trading company, the thing that you do is very simple, right? You ask them if they're a factory or trading company, and you say, I prefer to deal with trading companies because they understand the market better. And they say, yes, sir, or ma'am, I am a trading company. And then you delete the email. That's the first thing you do. The second thing is that you have a look at the products. And if they are a niche, a 1/4 inch wide and 8 miles deep, and it's full of the same similar product in their range, that's a factory. But if they have typewriters, and then who uses typewriters? Terrible example, Brendan. All right, start again. They have desk fans, and then they have 3D printers, and then they have ceramics. Well, that there, sir, is not a factory. That there is a trading company. Stay away from them, right? Because they are not good. And the third thing I like to do is just do a Google search of them, a Google Maps search, and I see whether they are in an office or a big complex. If they're in an office, that's a trading company. And if they're in a big complex, it's a factory because it needs a lot of land. So here, feel free to take a photo of this or take a copy paste of it. But a2zformula.com/templates is where you can download Brendan's amazing template where you can learn how to negotiate with a factory. So you're free to copy paste this as long as you don't share it. People have to pay thousands of dollars for this. You get it free here today at 4:31 a.m. in the morning in Sydney, Australia, because very simply, I love Sean and Seth and they took me to the Grand Canyon. So that's one more gift that you're getting from me today. So hope you enjoy that. That is very powerful and that will get you some amazing prices from the factory. All right. So let's see how we're going with everything. Okay, 2 more slides left and we are good and we are gold, right? So awesome. So we talked about how to avoid trading companies and one more thing is I'm going to give you this as well. Take a photo of this slide and I'll explain it to you. The reason why that we avoid the trading companies is, again, we don't want to deal with the middlemen. The reason why they exist is that the factories aren't able to buy they aren't able to pay for the export licenses. So these marketing companies who have a license go to all the factories and do it for them. So, often they can be Western, there can be Westerners as well. They usually have a full knowledge of trade and always check if you're dealing with a factory or trading company by asking the questions. But you'll often tell because one will be 20-30% higher in prices. And again, check if they're on the outskirts of the city or in the middle. And the last thing you can do is use an inspection team to actually go and check for you, which only costs about a couple $100. And we like QIMA are a really good inspection company. That's one of the ones that we use. Okay, cool. So I hope you enjoyed today. Now, if you found today a little bit too fast or action-packed, or you would be you would like to know how you can actually have someone source these products for you for pennies on the dollar, right? Sean and Seth show you how to sell it probably better than any other people I met on the planet. Probably, if I'm honest, better than I know, because I'm there at sourcing. You have to buy low, sell high. They have that part of the coin, but it's a two-sided coin. One thing I've done, and I am absolutely feeling crazy and that I'm doing this, but this is to say thank you to them for taking me to the Grand Canyon, is that I have run workshops since 2009 that people have to pay $2,000 for, and I've never given it for free until in about 3 seconds from now. 3, 2, 1, and bam. Guys, we have our workshop on. It's a whole weekend. It's going to have some of my private students in there as well. And as a one-off, and I mean a one-off, let me just have a look at my calendar to make sure that I have the dates right and I'm not getting the dates wrong. So it is now, wow, time flies. Okay, it is now pretty much the end of March, and on April the 16th and 17th is our live event, and you guys get free tickets. And you can bring one person with you, and that's it. It's a Zoom event. There's a URL, a2zformula.com/register. It is a 2-day workshop, and it is going to show you by the end of it, you will have a product in mind that you can sell, and you will know how to get it for cheap prices and to excellent quality. And I can tell you there's no one on the planet who runs a workshop for sourcing like us. Sean and Seth, I hope you're grateful because this is a really big deal for your members. There's a QR code for you.
Brendan,
you go.
we are super grateful. I know that the last time you got to present, you had a full hour, and we kind of clipped you down, but we said, Brendan, bring your best stuff. We took you to the Grand Canyon, and you checked it off your bucket list, but then you brought the goods today, guys. Check that out. I put the link in the chat box. Brendan's going to walk you through a full workshop. Like I said, he is the only speaker to ever get a 10 out of 10 in our last workshop that we did. And he's going to give you a full weekend worth of training. So take advantage of this, guys. It's not going to cost you anything. He's doing us a favor. So you might as well take advantage of him while we have him. Again, like I said at the very beginning, no one today is receiving an affiliate commission. The only reason why we bring any of the guest speakers on is simply to provide value to you guys. So there you go. Let's see here.
Thanks, guys. I just want to say thank you, Sean and Seth, for the privilege of sharing the knowledge that my father taught me to your beautiful, wonderful audience. Lots of love. I am going to go outside and watch the sunrise as the sun and the beams descend upon Australia. And I send my best wishes to everyone. And guys, join us. You're going to love it. It is my coup de grace. It is my premier thing. Is the thing I'm most proud of. And that is this workshop. So I'm super excited. You can tell, and I can't wait to see a lot of you there live at the workshop. So thank you, Sean, and thank you, Seth, for the amazing opportunity to be here today.
Yeah, we appreciate you, Brendan. Before you leave, since you're a comedian in spirit, just as I am, Chad says, did we have to hold you over the edge of the Grand Canyon with by your heels to get you to give us the deal? So almost, Chad, almost.
I can either confirm or not deny that.
So we really appreciate you, Brendan. Thanks so much for sharing today, and hopefully everybody takes advantage of the workshop because, like you said, you're going to give them a full weekend basically for free. So you can't beat that.
Yep.
Thanks, Brendan.
Don't tell the other students it's free, okay? Because they're going to.
Yeah, keep that hush hush. Don't share.
Exactly. God bless everyone. Mwah.
Thanks, Brendan. All right. So that was amazing. So thank you so much, Brendan, for waking up early and delivering the goods as you always do. But now let's move on to our next speaker. We have Mr. Seth. You can't beat the name, Seth Green. Seth, I'm excited to have you today. Let's see here.
You got to let me start my video.
Well, I don't know why you can't.
It says host has stopped it because when I came on, you stopped it. You got to.
Well, let's see if we can get you going here.
There we go. Host has now asked you to start your video.
There he is. So you, Seth, have the same awesome name as I do. And every time that I talk to you, I love saying your name because I never get to say it. So welcome, Seth, to the show. You are an amazing marketer from way back. You and I and Sean all share these similar roots, I guess, in this crazy advertising world. And we've done a lot of similar things. And we think very similarly in terms of how do we get our message out there? How do we market our products? How do we increase sales? So I'm excited to see what you have today because every time I talk to you, you bring it and you drop a nugget that I won't hear anywhere else. So I super, super appreciate having you today, Seth.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. It's an honor to be here. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, amazing. So Seth, you should be able to share your screen. If you have slides, a screen share, take it away, my friend.
All right. So what Sean and Seth asked me to share with you is how Amazon sellers can recruit 50 top producing affiliates and explode their sales. So super quick intro, who I am, why you're listening to me. I've been interviewed on NBC and CBS. I've been written about in Forbes and Inc. magazine. When I started in the financial services industry, the direct response marketing I learned from Dan Kennedy got me to be one of the top 30 top producing financial advisors in the country and got me written about in Registered Rep and Insurance Newsnet. That was before the internet. That was 20 plus years ago. And my phone started ringing with advisors who had found me in a phone book. Some of you aren't old enough to know what a phone book is, and called me and said, how do I do what you do? And Dan Kennedy said, start a marketing company and do it for them, which is why I'm here today, because that was 16 years ago. And along the way, I've written 9 best-selling marketing books. I've been on the cover of Success magazine. Dan Kennedy himself, I am the only person he's ever nominated 3 years in a row, back to back to back, for his prestigious Market of the Year award. But we're not here to talk about me. We're here to talk about you. We're here to talk about how do you recruit top producing affiliates to promote your Amazon brand. And what I need you to do is I need you to grab 5 pieces of paper and a pen. So I'm going to draw out literally step by step the exact process my firm does for our clients to recruit them 50 affiliates. And I'm going to draw it out. And as Seth can vouch, I have terrible handwriting. So if you try and take a screenshot of my drawing, you won't be able to read it later. So I am going to suggest that you write with me. So we're going to dive in without any further ado. Let's get straight into it. So you are going to take a piece of paper and you are going to draw a series of 4 boxes, but let me show you with arrows. Looks like this. There is one box with 3 arrows going to the 3 other boxes. Now, this is the framework you're going to draw 5 different times today, but what goes in each of those boxes is going to change with each step. So what you're going to write in the very first box is the word define. You see now why you need to write it, because you won't be able to read my writing later. So we're going to write define in the first box, and then we're going to start at the bottom over here. What do you need to define? Well, the first thing you need to define is something I know Seth and Sean have taught you. Who is your target market? Who is your end user customer of your brand? And I don't just mean, hey, I sell makeup, so any woman, I'm making this up, from 14 to 72 could use it. It's way too broad, right? They might be able to use it, but the ads, the marketing I would run, the influencers I would recruit, that I'm going to show you in just a minute, the influencer for my teenage daughters, the person who they would pay attention to, and they would click a link and go buy your makeup if they're 14 and 10, right? The person who my wife, who is, I shouldn't tell you, but 46, 47, she would respond to a different person. The person for my mother who's turning 75, they would all be influenced by different top producing affiliates. So who is your target market? And then the next level up, which I've just kind of teased you with, is who influences them? Who influences your target market, right? My wife is an influencer in her own right. She's a top 100 mommy blogger. She's got a top rated podcast. She's got a couple million Facebook video views, and people ask her to promote their products because of her audience of moms of middle age. I guess we're middle age now, but moms of young kids, right? So who's your ideal target market? Who are the influencers? And it could be a micro influencer, right? It could be somebody in a local market. It could be someone who's not, famous. I joke with my wife and kids that I'm marketing famous. I can go to Starbucks and get a drink and no one knows who I am. But if I am at a marketing conference and I walk in, I will be mobbed. I will literally have a line of people. The last one I went to, I was in line to check in at the hotel, and there was a line of people who came up and said, "Oh my God, you're Seth Green. Can I talk to you for a second?" So I'm marketing famous. I'm not real famous. So they might be industry famous in your industry, but no one outside of it knows who they are, and that's okay. So who's your target market? Who influences them? And then the next level is where? Where do they hang out? Where do those influencers hang out? What social media network are they on? What associations do they belong to? What do they do for fun? If they're a YouTube influencer, what group are they in? And we'll dive deeper if we have time when we do some role plays with some people and apply it directly to your business. So that's the first one. That's D for define. Give me I'm with you in the chat box so I know you got all 4 boxes. So we can keep going. Okay, Chad says yes. Cheryl says yes. Martin says yes. Awesome. So you're gonna do it again. Same 4 boxes. Ooh, I got sunglass smiley face from Marius. Thanks, Marius. All right, so same 4 boxes. The next word is reach out. First one was define. Second one is reach out. Because let's pretend that Freddie is an influencer. You know what? We'll use Seth and Sean because it's literally how this process works. So let's pretend that Seth and Sean are an influencer for me. Could be, which they are. That's why I'm on this webinar, right? We do work with Amazon and e-commerce sellers, and they have an audience of Amazon e-commerce sellers. So what would be the first thing I would do to start to build a relationship with a total stranger? Well, the first thing I am going to do is I am going to start commenting, let's say 3 times a week on their social media. Maybe once a week, maybe on Monday, I like and comment on a Facebook post that Seth put out. Maybe Wednesday, I like and retweet a tweet that Sean put out. Maybe Friday, I comment on a YouTube video. So I want to start commenting 3 times a week, because I will then start showing up in their news feed over and over and over again. And they will start recognizing my name and say, hey, that Seth Green guy, not only does he have a cool name, but he's always adding value. He's always saying nice things about us. That's really cool. Then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add even more value. I'm going to write them, not all in 1 week, but let's say 1 review a week for 3 weeks in a row. So maybe on week 1, I give them a 5-star review on Facebook. On week 2, I give them a 5-star review on Google. And then maybe week 3, I'm doing a review on Amazon. I'm doing a review of their book, of which I have bought every single book. They said, we'll send it to you for free. I said, no, I want to buy it. I want to buy the book, and I'm going to write you a 5-star and then wrote him a 5-star review, because now they're going to say, man, not only does he say nice things, but he wrote us nice reviews, and reviews are gold on Amazon and other social media. So I'm commenting 3 times a week. I'm reviewing 3 times, and then I've added some goodwill, and then I am going to send either a direct message, a DM, or an email. And that's going to depend on what I can find. If I can find Sean's email, I'll use it because it's direct. If I can't find his email, I'll send a DM on Facebook, Instagram, whatever his platform is that he's most active, right? It does me no good to comment on your Facebook post if you have 3 followers and you're never on Facebook, right? But if you're posting every single day on Instagram, it makes me a lot more sense to comment on your Instagram. I have to do some research and find out where you engage the most. Give me, I got number 2. If you got number 2, so I can move on to number 3. And while you're commenting, you're going to write 4 more boxes. Oh, and thank you for the kind words, Seth. And I missed whoever else said this is real hustle. I think it was Freddie. Thank you, Freddie. So awesome. All right. D was for define. R was for reach out. Thank you, Mark. Moving on to number 3. Number 3 is engage. E for engage. So I've commented, I've reviewed, I've added some value. Now I'm going to actually ask for something. I'm going to send an email or a direct message to Sean and ask him for something. But I'm not going to ask him to promote me at all. I'm not done adding value yet. The first thing I am going to ask in that email or that direct message, and I am going to ask Seth or Sean if they would like to be on my audio video podcast. So I'm saying, hey, Sean, love what you guys are doing. You are absolutely crushing it. Bought your books, love your books. The message you have is right in sync with ours. I'd love to interview you on my podcast and talk all about it. And it's both audio and video. Why am I doing a show on audio and video? Because the audio will go to, are you ready? iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Amazon, and Audible. 9 places. Talk about repurposing content, right? Which I know Seth and Sean have talked to you about. And then the video is going to YouTube. If I don't have a YouTube channel, I do now. And then I'm not just going to stop there. Now, if I interview Seth and Sean on my show, which I did, do you think they are going to forget all about me and say, hey, that was nice that you interviewed us? Or do you think they might repost, they might tell the world about it? Give me an answer in the chat box. Are they going to hide it, or are they going to tell the world they were on my show? By the way, I co-host the Sharkpreneur Show with Kevin from Shark Tank. And we're up to, right. Elise says they're going to tell everybody. Janice says we're going to tell the world. Why are they going to tell the world? Give me an answer. Take a guess. You won't be wrong. Why are they going to tell the world? Why are they going to tell the world? Come on. Traffic. Yeah, for sure. Promotion. Absolutely. It helps them too. More exposure. Exposure. You are all absolute empathy. Thanks, Freddie. They're all absolutely right. So now what am I going to give them to tell the world? I'm going to make it as easy as possible. I am going to give them social media posts. I am going to give them Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram. I'm going to give them audiograms and videograms, little YouTube shorts. I'm going to give them all kinds of stuff to post where I'm going to do it for them. I will literally hand it to them and say, all you have to do is hit copy and paste. I want to make it as brain dead easy as possible. And again, I'm adding more value because guess what? Sean and Seth weren't promoting me when they were talking about my show. They were promoting themselves. Sean was saying, look at us. We're awesome. We were on Sharkpreneur with Seth Green and Kevin Harrington, right? They're promoting themselves. But I'm not going to stop there. I'm going to add even more value. I am going to take my top 10 or 12 episodes on a certain topic, and I'm going to turn them into a physically published book. which, oh, by the way, I'm going to publish and sell on Amazon. And now I've got another product and another lead magnet where people want to learn about whatever that topic is. That book could be about anything. It could be about Amazon selling. If you're not selling what Seth and Sean are selling, right? If you've got an Amazon brand, maybe your book is about makeup. Maybe your book is about, we have one, a client who does $50 million a year selling sneakers. His book is about sneakers. He sells shoes that are designed, they're like barefoot shoes. If you remember the whole barefoot trend, and the book is all about getting healthy from the feet first, from the feet up, right? I'm misquoting it, but you get the idea. That book is now a new lead magnet. That book is now front-end lead generation on a new funnel, getting more people into the brand, which of course takes them off of Amazon, right? Which Seth and Sean teach you, gets them in a follow-up funnel to claim their bonuses and their coupons and whatever else, their warranties, whatever else they get, and drips on them via, I know Seth and Sean have talked to you about this, email, text message, and snail mail to increase their lifetime customer value. All right, everybody got number 3. We did define, we did reach out, we did engage. Tell me you got number 3. Kevin says, wow, awesome. I am lost on number 3. Okay, so I'll do a quick review of number 3. The word at the top is engage. The word at the bottom is podcast. The word in the middle is social media. And the word at the top is book. Because what I call all those internally at our company, value bombs. I am dropping value bomb after value bomb on my ideal influencers, whether it's Seth and Sean or Derek Ahart. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name, or any of you. I'm dropping value bombs. So we are supposed to write a book. Is that what you're saying? No, Cheryl, you're not writing a word of it. You're taking 10 or 12 of your podcast episodes and turning them into a book. It's already written. It's the edited transcripts of your interviews. It's, guess what? You now get to write a book without having to write a word of it. And if you do the marketing on Amazon right, your book will become a bestseller, and you now are an Amazon bestselling author. Kevin says you create social media posts based on the podcast interview you conducted and share with the interviewee. Correct. I want them promoting themselves because they're going to take me along for the ride. When Seth and Sean said, hey, check us out, we were on Sharkpreneur. Some of you, maybe the people here, some of you saw that episode. Some of you listened to it. And some of you even took us up on the offer that we make in the advertising on our podcast and got on our list in exchange for whatever bribe we offered you, right? But that wasn't the goal, because Seth and Sean were promoting themselves and taking me along for the ride. Mark says, Dan Kenny meets Russell Brunson meets the Dream 100. This guy is good. Thank you. That's actually where I got it from. So I actually had a call with Amanda Holmes from the Chet Holmes's company, his daughter, who's CEO, and showed her how we took what she did, what her dad did in the 21st century. And she said, oh my God, that's amazing. We have to tell our members about how you did it. Okay, so got to get to number, I got a limited amount of time. So we got to get to the 4th sheet. Again, the book isn't about me. The book is about the people I interviewed, because I'm going to show you what's going to happen next. Because I dropped a whole bunch of value bombs, right? I got Seth and Sean to be on my show. They promoted me on social media. They promoted the show on social media. They promoted me a bunch of different places. Then I put them in a book. They promoted the fact that they were in the book. And oh, by the way, you want a secret strategy, secret bonus strategy? If I put Seth and Sean in my book, I will list them on Amazon as a co-author. Because then when someone goes to Amazon and searches for Seth or Sean, they will find me. They will find my book. Their books will show up first for their name, but I will show up 4th. Like if you look for Kevin Harrington, if you look for Russell Brunson, if you look for a bunch of people that I've done this strategy on, I rank for their name. Because I said, hey, can I put your interview in a book? And they're like, sure, of course. Not realizing I was going to rank for their name. But anyway, that's a whole separate strategy. Got to go to number 4. Okay, number 4, first word is activate. Because right now I've got Seth and Sean promoting themselves and subtly taking me along for the ride. I need to really activate that relationship and turn them into an affiliate for me, right? I need to get them directly promoting Seth. It's for promoting me. It's one thing for them to say, look at us, we're awesome. We were on Seth's show, Seth Green's show. Now I need them to say, hey guys, Seth is awesome. You should go get his stuff. I need to turn them into an affiliate for me. Now, what do I want? Now that I've added all these value bombs, here's what happens. One of my favorite marketing books of all time is Influence by Robert Cialdini. And he says 2 of the 6 most powerful principles in human psychology are reciprocity and goodwill. So I'm going to build up with those value bombs, and we don't have time to get into all the value bombs we send. We send direct mail every other week. Like we send a lot because we're going after top tier people. So after I've dropped a number of value bombs, I will have built up so much reciprocity and goodwill with Seth and Sean that they will literally say, dude, you're like our new best friend, which they did. And Seth can confirm that later. And they said, dude, this is awesome. And then they said, what can we do for you? Because they couldn't take the imbalance, right? I'm revealing our secret right here, right? I built up so much reciprocity and goodwill, they couldn't take it. And they had to reciprocate because they're nice guys. Now, if you think about it, have you ever had a friend who you went out to lunch with and they paid? And you're like, oh man, thanks, that was nice. And then next week you went out again and they paid again. And you're like, man, this is really cool. And then the third time you were like, dude, let me pay this time, right? You couldn't take it. You had to balance the scales. So I've added so much reciprocity and goodwill, I can now go to my activate step and turn them into an affiliate for me. And we've got a direct mail campaign. Yes, I said direct mail, that goes to their physical address and gets them to go, oh my God, yes, I want to promote you. You did so much for me. So what do I want them to promote? Well, you're watching, guess what? A webinar. I wanted Seth and Sean to do a webinar for us. We're doing a webinar. But what if you are an Amazon brand, right? You might not necessarily sell on Amazon. So you might have a video you want them to watch. You might have a link to your Amazon store, right? Seth can confirm this when he comes back on later, but if I had said instead, can you just send an email to everybody to, your 80,000 or however many people and drive them to my podcast, they would have. If I had said, can you drive them all to my Amazon store where I'm selling X, Y, and Z that your people would love, they would have, because I had added so much value first. Givers gain, BNI philosophy, 100%. Chet Holmes's Dream 100 strategy back 40, 50 years ago was a phone call and a snail mail letter, a snail mail twice a month, right? They got a letter every 2 weeks and they got a phone call every 2 weeks. We took it in the 21st century, used modern day technology, added steps every 2 weeks forever that include lumpy mail, direct mail, gifts, books, all kinds of stuff that get dripped on our Dream 50, we call it, because 100 might be too many for you, but we do one a week for 50 weeks. And it's responsible for at least $2 million in revenue for us in the last year. And a lot more for our clients. So last page, one more. Let me know if you got the activate page so I can go on to the last one. Draw your boxes. Okay, people say yes, 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 yes. Awesome. Okay, last page. First word is monetize. Because I gotta make some money, right? D was for define, R was for reach out, E was engage, A was for activate, M is for monetize. What was the last box at number 4? Amazon store. So it was webinar, video, Amazon store. Hopefully, William, you got that. All right, so I got to monetize. So if I get Seth and Sean to send an email for me or a social media post or all of the above, I've got to turn that relationship into money. Right? You can't deposit likes in a bank account. I need checks. So there are 3 steps to monetizing that relationship, that affiliate, right? Once they say, yes, we'll promote you. What do you want us to promote? Here you go. I've got to make sure I promote correctly. I got to give them the right stuff. I got to get them to promote the right thing, or I waste the relationship emotional capital I've spent all this time building. So first thing I got to do is I got to capture. I have to capture your contact information, right? If I drive you to a website with no retargeting pixels and no opt-in form, and you leave, I don't know you were there and I can't get in touch with you. I wasted my traffic budget if I had one. I need some form of capture mechanism. Now, if you're driving them to your Amazon store, maybe that capture mechanism is you want them to buy something, right? Maybe you are building a buyer's list on Amazon, and maybe the buy is, maybe they bought something for $2, $5, $20 and to get on your list. They didn't buy it to get on your list. They bought it to buy the thing, but now they're on your list. Or maybe you're driving them to a pre-Amazon funnel, which we're going to have a whole separate conversation about, where they opt in to get a discount code for Amazon for your product. Or maybe they opted in to get extra bonuses for your Amazon product before they bought it. Like we do receipt scrapers for books, where people email the receipt to the receipt scraper email address, and it automatically pulls all of their snail mail and credit card data and puts it on an Excel, a CSV file, a Google Sheet for us. Whatever you need to do to capture their contact information. What do you need to do after you capture their contact information? You have to connect with them, right? If I capture your contact information and disappear There was no point to any of this. I've seen this happen. It's funny. I opted in for somebody else's free Amazon funnel the other day and got nothing. I opted in. I didn't even get the thing I bought. It was crazy. It was, I opted in on their ClickFunnels before getting to their Amazon page. And the ClickFunnels is not true. I did get one thing. They emailed me a one sheet fill in the blank PDF, which did no good. I was like, there's no instructions on how to actually fill this out. It was a specific worksheet. It wasn't for a webinar, but it was a specific worksheet on creating a specific type of letter, we'll say. And there was no guidance whatsoever. I'm like, and no follow-up emails. I'm like, you totally just blew it, right? So I've got to connect with them. I want to connect with them in an automated way, right? So it doesn't take your manual labor, but I want to connect with them in multiple forms of media. I want, and this isn't in the box, this is outside the box, pardon the pun. I want to connect with them with email, of course. I want to connect with them with text messages, of course. I want to add voice broadcast, that phone call that shows up on your phone and says, you missed a call. I'm like, no, I didn't. I don't hear the phone ring and it says voicemail left, slide dial, or whatever software you use to deliver it. And it's Seth and Sean leaving me a message. And then the last one that everybody overlooks is snail mail. I want to send snail mail. I don't just want a letter in the box that comes with my Amazon product. I want to keep dripping on them. If you've got a snail mail address, that is gold, because people change email addresses, people might change cell phones, they might do whatever, but unless they physically move, in which case the post office will tell you they moved, snail mail crushes almost everything else. It's not as fast as everything else, and it costs more to send, but think about it. Everybody thought social media and online was going to kill direct mail. So they stopped doing direct mail, which means if you think about it, there's probably less in your mailbox than there ever has before. But yet every survey says people prefer to read printed material. Even those millennials, even my kids, I'm like, how come you're not reading that as an ebook on your Kindle on your iPhone? Because I prefer to read the book. Right? My son wanted Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. He's 16, he's into personal development, which is awesome. I'm so proud of him. And I was like, oh, I can't find my copy of it here. I got it for you on the Scribed app. You can read it there because I already had it. And he's like, okay, well, can we still order the physical book? Because I'd rather read it, right? If you send physical snail mail, you control what you send. You can create theater. You can create an entire atmosphere and sell in a vacuum because no other Amazon brands are doing it, right? Amazon sends catalogs, but the brands don't. And you should not just send catalogs, but you could send a sales letter. You could send a postcard. You could send a gift. You can send anything you want in the mail. So I've got a capture. And oh, by the way, you can automate all of that. So you don't have to touch it once it's built. And we can have a conversation about that. We're not going to have time today, but we certainly could. So you're going to capture, you're going to connect, and then you've got to get them to convert. And Seth and Sean have preached this at you for years because the first purchase is not enough. It's great if they just get on, if they buy something from you, that's awesome. But I think I forget the stat, but it was what, like $62 million that Seth and Sean made by adding post-purchase marketing, which is the whole point of Post-Purchase Pro, which I am a huge fan of, right? Because the money isn't in the first sale. The money's in monetizing that relationship forever, because that person who bought the first thing needs to come back and buy all the other things you have. And if you don't keep dripping on them to convert them to buy other things, they will go away. You know, Seth and Sean and I all have one of the same mentors, which is Dan Kennedy. And one of the things Dan taught me was, it is not their job to remember you. It is your job to make sure it is impossible for them to forget you. And people tell us all the time, why do you, I mean, every 2 weeks you're dripping on people. That's a whole heck of a lot. We're like, well, every time we did it, we made more money. So we kept adding more steps, right? Our follow-up sequence now is forever. We didn't start that way. We started with one step. Thank you. We're shipping your thing. But now we do a million other steps because every time we added one, we made money and no one ever said, stop, you're sending me too much free stuff in the mail. Now, how does this, now we do this once a week for 50 weeks, which is why we call it our Dream 50 affiliate recruiting process. Because if you look at the letters that you just wrote, it sends out DREAM, spells Dream 50. Because if you do it once a week for 50 weeks, you will recruit a very high percentage of your Dream 50 influencers. Now, if you want to calculate how much literally this can make in your business and what your ROI would be, it's not letting me paste my link in the chat. Let me try again. There we go. That link goes to our referral oil well calculator, where literally you punch in your numbers and it will calculate for you how much money this strategy can make you. It'll ask you things like how many customers, average purchase size, stuff like that. I'm going to tell you, think e-commerce, which means that the average percentage referral rate, the default that's there is way too low. That's for like a bricks and mortar regular business. You want to up your numbers in almost every category that it asks you about to get you a proper ROI. Richard says, what if we don't have and can't use a podcast? Richard, what industry? I'm happy to work around that. Richard, what industry are you in that you can't use a podcast? What is the top right side box in number 5? Convert. Capture, connect, convert. Now, I want to show you some actual examples of real people doing this, and then we'll open it up for Q&A because I know I've got a short amount of time. So let me show you a couple people where it actually did it. When I'm hitting share my screen, it's not letting me share sound, Seth. I can't click the share sound button. It's grayed
Let me
out.
see really quick.
You may need to make me a temporary co-host.
Yep, that's fine. There you go.
Okay. Nope, still grayed out. Weird. It says I'm a co-host.
I'm going to make you the host. We'll see what happens.
All right, let's try one
Try
more
that.
time. Still grayed out. All right, well, what I was going to share with you, gotta love it. Technology is great when it works. Okay, so you know what? I'm going to play it and see if you can hear it, just for the heck of it. If not, then I'll tell you what they were going to say. Can you hear that?
No.
No. Okay, so that's Riley. Riley was going to tell you that he's made over $1 million in revenue from us producing his Dream 50 program in the very first year. Riley has now been with us, God, 3, 4, 5 years. We've produced this Dream 50 model over and over again for him, sometimes with different themes every year because he owns multiple businesses. He's a serial entrepreneur. Let's see here. This is Alex Mendozian. He's the founder of marketingonline.com. He is known as the Warren Buffett of the internet because he's made over $400 million online. And he's going to tell you that we have run this process for him. We have run it for his coaching clients. We have run it for his members. And he's going to tell you that he trusts us with his customers, clients, and members, and that you should work with us, even though we're not going to sell you anything today. He would tell you to work with us because we know what we're doing. We've invented the process and we have the right team. And then this is Kevin Harrington from Shark Tank, who's going to tell you we do a great job for him. He doesn't do any of the work. He just shows up once a week for his podcast interview and hangs out, meets really awesome people, and we do all of the work and recruit people for him, and it works incredibly well. So how do you make all of this happen? So you need some people. I'm not saying they have to be ours, because this isn't a pitch, but you need some people. So I'll tell you, because we have 46 employees, I'll tell you who you need. You need a copywriter. You need a graphic designer. You need audio editors. You need video editors. You need a social media person. You need a 2-time Emmy award-winning ghostwriter to write the book that you don't have to write. You need a 2-time Emmy award-winning interview coach to teach you how to do an interview in a psychologically scripted, proven way that will get the most number of people to turn into affiliates for you. You need a project manager to run all the people. You need a producer for your show. You need a book launch team and an editing team and a graphic design team. You need a direct mail expert to write and send the direct mail every other week. You need a relationship director to manage the program for you. And then for the separate website you build for these people, you need a web designer. And if you add all that up and you hire well, your payroll for that's going to be about $894,705. Well, if you want it all done for you without the $900,000 in payroll, I am going to show you, this is how you get our Dream 50 strategy session. Now, this is not a sales pitch in disguise. We will not sell you anything or offer you anything on this call. You will get a call with me or our company president, and we will walk you through these 5 steps and how they work, customized specifically for your business. Again, there's no sales pitch on that call. It's literally just us giving back and brainstorming with you how it would work for your business. Now, if you say, that sounds awesome, I don't want to hire and train all those people and do all the work myself, and you ask us and say, hey, how do you guys work how does your done for you program that you've done for Kevin Harrington and Alex Mendosian and Riley Meek and Russell Brunson's been on my podcast multiple times to talk about it. And I've got endorsements from him and Dan Kennedy and Rich Sheffrin and everybody. Like Rich Sheffrin literally said, if I had to start over again, this is what I would do from day one. If you ask us how our process works, we're happy to share it with you. But again, there is no hard sell. There is no pitch on that call. That's not the way we do business here. I will warn you, again, if you want to take advantage of that strategy session, we're looking for brands that are doing at least 7 figures, because that's who we can move the needle the most for if it turns out that you do want to work with us. So with that, I am going to take a breath and let Seth chime in, and then we'll do Q&A.
So Seth, I didn't know that this is what you're going to share today. Like, I knew the topic, but I didn't know what you were going to get into. And it's like you live inside my office on the wall, because like, this is exactly how, like, 97% of what we do every day to grow our business, Post Purchase Pro, you covered in those 5 pieces of paper. And so when you were doing your value bomb process to us, we were doing it in return to you. We had you on our podcast.
Yes.
We have you on the masterclass. We're adding value to your life. We call it making a mafia offer. So every influencer who has a group of our customers in the future, we're trying to add value to. So I see your strategy. It is pure gold. I wrote it in the chat box because I know that it works. We do it every single day. So there is no higher recommendation that I can give you other than we do this every day for ourselves. And I know that it works. So thank you so much for breaking it down, because I've never thought about it in those steps. But as you're going through it, I was like, yep, we do that. Yep, we do that. And yes, it leads to that. And this is how they feel. And this is how you all win together. So I super appreciate it. Hoffman says pure gold. I agree. So guys, do you have any questions about this process? I know, like, in theory, if you've ever heard of like the Dream 100 process that Russell Brunson lays out, it's easy to conceptualize how like some businesses can use it, but not so much as an Amazon seller. And so that's why, Seth, you're getting some pushback in the chat box saying, well, I can't really do a podcast because the Amazon seller community doesn't think in terms of like this marketing mentality, because Amazon provides enough traffic typically to get them started. But really, when you want to push the pedal and start moving a lot more product, you need to start recruiting people to help you promote your product. And I love it because I know that it works. So
absolutely. And if you think about it, which would you rather have? 50 affiliates promoting you. You have no advertising expense upfront, no Amazon ads upfront. You only pay commissions on sales. Or would you rather spend, $600,000, $200,000 on Amazon traffic, Google traffic, YouTube traffic, wherever you're buying it from, in the hopes that it works out? This is all performance-based marketing for your Amazon brand. And I would encourage your folks, and I loved watching your Dream 50 process to me, which is why we're promoting you on our next webinar. We're promoting you to we're introducing you to the Amazon world that we know that you might not know. So it works both ways. And I would tell you, I have not found in 17 years of doing this. And obviously we have new technology, podcasts weren't a thing 17 years ago, right? Social media wasn't a thing really 17 years ago. We have iterated and improved the process. Literally, I come up with a new idea to make it better like every other week. But I would urge you to think outside the box, because we haven't found a business it can't work for. I mean, we have a sneaker brand that sells $50 million a year online, a lot of which is, and they're in their 3rd year of their contract with us because it keeps working and they can track it.
So Seth, I'll give you an example. In 2014, we were growing our pillow business on Amazon, and we were selling pretty well. We were doing about $300,000 a month worth of this product, and we were like, okay, how can we move the needle on Amazon? Number one, because we figured out this later, but if we can get external traffic to hit Amazon, we increase our rankings, right? So that's like, positioning yourself to win bigger in the future. So we started looking at who has our audience out there in this process. We didn't have a name for it. I had never heard of it. We just naturally gravitated towards who's got my audience. Let's go and make them an offer that would make sense to them. So we found this Facebook group community, had a few 100,000 people in there, and they talked about home stuff. So we reached out to the owner of the group and we said, hey, we love your Facebook group. You have amazing content. Would you like to give your community an exclusive promotional code? And she lit up, and we said, also, guess what else? We're going to match the affiliate commission that Amazon gives you, because I know that's how you make your money. And she said, well, forget about the affiliate commission. What's most important to me is that I can add value to my community. Well, She posted it, and almost immediately we get an extra $20,000 in sales. And then the next day we get a similar amount of extra sales. And then ongoing, our keyword ranking improved. So our sales kept at a higher pace. And so that's like 2014's version of what you're talking about. That's the unsophisticated version of now develop an army of those people that are promoting you. I know that it works. I've done it before. And I love that you guys are helping sellers do this because it's so needed.
Yeah, I'll give you two quick examples. Number one, we had a client who we started a brand new business from scratch. They had sold their previous company for multiple seven figures, wanted to start something new, so they had resources, came to us, and in less than 6 months, we've built them, it's about a $720,000 a year business from scratch, all because of this process. Those were all affiliates driving traffic to their offer, and we get more every single month. And then I'll give you the most ridiculous one that no one here sells, but we have a client who sells equipment to dentists. You cannot get more niche than that, right? And he's like, I don't think this is going to work for me. I sell to dentists. Like, I don't know that I need a podcast. I don't know that I need any of these steps. Like, I just got to buy more traffic. I'm like, don't buy more traffic. I'm not saying stop what's working, but work with us. I'll promise you, I guarantee you it will work, or will work for free. And literally, he is now in front of one of the people who was on the show, who's agreed to a relationship with him, who is now promoting him, has a list of over 100,000 dentists.
Wow.
And that guy is like, how can I promote you? He didn't say, I'll do it once. He said, I'm going to put you on our promo calendar, and every quarter we're going to do a blast for you. And now our client is like, oh my God, now I get it. Like, that's gold. That's traffic I don't have to pay for. My rankings will skyrocket, and I will get all the sales. And that's amazing.
When this kind of clicked for me, Seth, was when I watched like an author launch a book. Like when Tony Robbins launches a book, he does a podcast circuit. He does like television interviews, right? So no Amazon seller thinks like that in terms of a product launch. They just say, I'm going to put it on Amazon and hope that it works. But they don't organize like a launch like they should. And that you can't do that unless you have these relationships, and the relationships are what you're talking about. So I definitely agree. So I guess the link in the chat box is the best way to talk through this process with you guys. Is that right?
Yeah. If you go to the yourdream50.com, and it's 50 with the number /session, you will see a page, landing page, video, opt in, take you to a thank you page where we can start the scheduling process. Steve says $1 million in revenue, but is there a targeted retail price point or margin to make it worth your while? So it depends. That's why we kind of got to talk about it. Every business is different. So for example, when the sneaker company came to us, they were on Shark Tank, and they said, we're doing all this revenue. And they said, but we sell sneakers. We don't know if it's enough. And we had somebody else who sells something even like makeup. We did a consultation for a perfume company the other day, and they're, $60. Somebody else, the makeup company. The cool family story. My daughter, my 10-year-old, is inspired by this now. She's launching a makeup line. Her first product is chapstick, which is like $2. Now, granted, she doesn't have to pay all of our fees, but could you make it worth? I would say let's do a session. It doesn't cost you anything. We're not going to sell you anything. If you're selling something, it depends on the product, because as long as we can move enough volume with the affiliates, it won't matter what the price point of the product is. We may just have to sell more numbers of it. Eamon says, do you search the influencers and work out the strategy and execute it, or do you provide the strategy and we execute it? We are a totally done for you company. So we literally do all the work. All you've got to do is show up once a week for 30 minutes and do your interview with the person. And then we call the follow-up call where they say, yes, I want to promote you. We internally call that a show me the money call. It's another 30 minutes. So at the most, it takes an hour a week of your time, but we are queuing up all of those things for you. You just have to show up. What about those of us who aren't yet doing 7 figures? No opportunity with you. There is. I just want to make sure, number one, that it'll work for you. Number two, if you do want to work with us, if we get to that point that you can afford us, because we're not cheap, because again, I got 46 people doing all of that manual labor. It's a lot of manual labor. Seth can attest to all of the moving parts that go into that. So Cheryl, if you're interested in learning more, grab a session. We'll do it anyway. In worst case scenario, we teach you something awesome and you go do it on your own. Chad says, is it a flat rate or percentage of revenue? It's a hybrid. So it depends on your business, but in an ideal world, we do a monthly retainer that is reduced by commission. So think of us as the first tier affiliate over all the affiliates we bring on for you. And then our goal is to be 100% commission. We need runway to get there, to get the plane off the ground. But once we're generating a decent chunk of commissions every month, we'll go straight commission and work purely on performance.
All right, amazing. So guys, I would just recommend to just do the session. Like Seth said, he's not going to sell you anything. He's just going to see where you're at, give you a little bit of coaching. If it makes sense because you don't have the time or the inclination or the know-how to do it, then that's an option. If you just want to brainstorm, and like Cheryl said, she's not quite maybe where she needs to be to take advantage of this, but I know the process works, so you might as well start thinking along these lines anyways.
And yes, we do new product launches if you can afford it. Do we work with non-English markets? As long as you've got someone to translate, maybe.
That's our answer too.
Yeah, I'm going to give you a maybe on that one. I'm not sure because all of my staff is US English speaking.
Looks like Cheryl's good. Amazing.
Yeah.
So Seth, this has been amazing for me because you gave me a few little nuggets in there. Like I never thought about like the social media aspect of it, like you know, grabbing somebody's attention in that way. Normally we you know, we'll find somebody in person or we'll get on the phone or track them down a different way. But the social media thing was a nice little nugget for me to open up the relationship. And then I think the most important piece that we figured out was you got to overwhelm somebody with value that's important to them. Like if we didn't have an audience and we couldn't do anything for you, Seth, when we had the conversation, you would have, you know, if I didn't let you know of the opportunity that you had with us, then it wouldn't have went the same way. Right. So it's been really, really good to have you. And I super appreciate having you on today.
Thank you very much. It's been an honor and a pleasure.
Thank you, Seth. Guys, don't go anywhere. I'm going to drop you a link here in a second.
I think I have to make you the host again.
Okay, perfect.
Yep.
So we have about 80 of you left. That's amazing. But I wanted to share something with you that's coming up. So every between 90 and 180 days, we do what's called a hacks webinar. If you remember the one that we did in November last year, we called it the 49 hacks webinar. We had 49 Amazon seller hacks and we went through them in rapid fire. And it was truly amazing. Actually, 9,000 Amazon sellers registered for that. And then we maxed out Zoom. We're going to do another one. We're going to call it the 23 hacks webinar. We're going to try to boil it down to the highest hardest hitting, best 23 hacks for 2023. And it's going to be in May. So if you guys want to register for that, so you don't get lost in the mix or you don't get capped out, because I'm sure that it will max out just like last time. I'm going to drop you the link here because you guys hung out with us today. Like I said, it's not until May, so you have a little time, but I just want to let everyone have the opportunity to get registered. It's going to be free. There's nothing for sale, but we're going to have 23 Amazon seller hacks. It's going to be promoted by almost everyone in the industry. And because of that, we're going to have probably more than 10,000 sellers register for it. And so it'll cap out, it'll max out. So I just dropped the link in the chat box. It's called 23hacks.com. Go ahead and register. And then as we get closer, we'll remind you to show up and we'll text you so you don't miss it. But last time, some of the people that watched the 49 hacks said, I haven't learned anything new about growing on Amazon in years. And I learned several things. So the content is always really, really good. There's nothing for sale. It's all value. So hopefully that will help you here in about a month. So guys, other than that, let me know if you guys all got that link that would like to have it. And then we'll just jump out of here. Let me do a quick check real quick. Okay, so it's 23hacks.com/23hacks. I just dropped that in there. There you go. All right. William says the hacks webinar is going to be great. It will be. Thank you for everything, you guys. I super appreciate all of you. We'll see you on the next monthly masterclass, and then I'll see you on the hacks webinar. Hopefully you learned something today. And other than that, God bless you all and see you on the next webinar. Thanks so much. Bye.